Good morning. It's 5 o'clock, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Hey, we're going to be feeling fall today. Stefano says it's going to be a little cooler today than it was yesterday.
First Alert Live radar is clear. We'll stay dry all day today. It is 40s across the board for us this morning. There's some of the 30s out in the Cumberland Plateau, the best area to see some of that frost. Rest of your day today, cooler and breezy. The temperatures will stay in the 60s, maybe get near 70.
Right here in Nashville right now, it is 48 degrees. In the news this morning, Russia attacked Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, with a massive drone and missile strike today, one day after the much anticipated and just recently announced Trump-Putin summit in Budapest, Hungary, was canceled after Russia's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, made clear that Russia is rejecting President Trump's call to freeze the fighting in Ukraine along the front lines.
In the space of the time since the second summit in Budapest was announced, we've basically seen that the Russians have indicated they haven't changed their demands at all. Nothing has changed, and therefore there would be no point in meeting.
ABC's Patrick Reeville there reporting in London. The Sumner County School Board heard from residents last night on a proposal to change Christmas break to winter break. The idea didn't go over very well.
None of you would ever have considered making this accommodation necessary of Hanukkah, Diwali, Ramadan. You wouldn't consider asking them to back down from their religious holiday and take it off because it wasn't inclusive. I want you to consider that.
It is honoring Christ, and that you can call it whatever you want to in your own personal house, but it's always going to be Christmas break.
School board member Shelley Young Tucker disagrees, however. She says, quote, when we use that word, it can make families feel invisible. The school board voted to stick with Christmas break anyway. That'll impact the calendar for next year. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com.
Market indexes were mixed in Tuesday's trading as companies released summer profit reports. The Dow was up 218 points at the close. The S&P 500 was flat, gaining less than a half a point. And the tech-heavy Nasdaq lost 37 points as tech stocks cooled off from recent rallies. General Motors, Coca-Cola, and RTX all gained after quarterly reports beat analyst expectations. Warner Brothers Discovery has signaled that it may be open to selling all or parts of its business. The home of HBO, CNN, and DC Studios said it is reviewing strategies after multiple parties expressed interest in buying the whole company and Warner Brothers specifically. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Stock futures are mostly flat this morning. That's the latest news. We've got your traffic up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Starting out nice and quiet this morning. No problems on 24. 40 looks good. And 65 also running smoothly. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.505 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. Hope you are doing well. I want to make sure I've got this right, Jones. I've done a lot of radio.
Okay.
Day 22?
Day 22.
Day 22.
Mm-hmm. You got that right.
This is day 22 of me not giving a crap. Hey, speaking of which, can I ask a question? So, why is it the Democrats are like afraid, or not afraid, but angry at like everything? Like everything these days is hair on fire, disaster. Donald Trump is this, Donald Trump is that. And it's like, do you ever get like exhausted from all of the anger that is being spewed every single day?
It is crazy.
It is exhausting. Like, can you explain to me the ballroom, right? Now, the ballroom, which, again, a story that I really don't care all that much about. But from what I understand, this ballroom that Donald Trump is building is not even going to be ready by the time he leaves office. So he's not even going to get to use it. That's number one. And number two, the Democrats are just freaking out about this. I mean, I've got some audio from The View. So you already know that it's going to be a bunch of cackling hens, right? So, and I have not heard this yet. And I'm assuming, Joan, you haven't either.
I have not.
But demolition, I was on the internet, of course. I was on the socials. And you see all of these photos of the East Wing of the White House. They've had to do some demolition to build this ballroom. And so I'm just going to play some of this audio from The View. The reason why Donald Trump is doing this is because apparently right now there's nowhere to do any kind of like, an event that you would need a ballroom. So if there's going to be like a dance or a bigger party, maybe an award ceremony, there's no place to do it. So that's why Donald Trump is putting up this ballroom. It makes, perfect sense to me. I wouldn't hate it if Joe Biden was doing it. I wouldn't hate it if Barack Obama was doing it. So why is this a big deal? I've got outrage fatigue. Listen to this.
What you're alluding to is kind of what struck me. A ballroom is a symbol of excess and opulence. And we're living in a time where those optics just are flying in the face of the reality of the majority of this country.
So right off the bat, a ballroom is a sign of excess and opulence.
Opulence. Yeah.
So we live in Nashville, and there's like a bunch of hotels around. And they've all got they all have ballrooms. So I don't understand why she is saying, ballrooms are a sign of excess and opulence. I don't think so. I think a ballroom is a place to do an event. And by the way, I don't think taxpayers are paying for this.
They're not.
They're not. They're getting it from donors, correct?
President Trump is fronting some of the money. Private donors are presenting the rest of it. He actually held like a gathering of some wealthy people and said, "Hey, you want a piece of this? Like, let's get in on this. We're gonna make the White House renewed." And it got a great reception. I mean, people are into it. And P.S., it's not like the White House has never been renovated, for heaven's sake.
Oh, my goodness gracious. It's been renovated many times.
The pool underground, the pool outside.
Yep.
The bowling alley.
The movie theater and the soundproof music room that Hillary Clinton had put in for Bill in the 90s.
There you go.
So come on.
Well, you know why they did that, though, Sam? The music room for Bill Clinton, they made it soundproof
So that Monica couldn't be heard?
Yeah, so that Bill's saxophone playing or whatever it was couldn't be heard outside of the room is what it was. Here's more from The View.
When you look up, he won on making cost of living better, but inflation's up 3%.
Yeah.
74% of Americans say they've seen household prices increase by at least $100. The unemployment rate is at a four-year high right now. People are struggling to eat, and this was like a wealthy ballroom paid for by wealthy people for wealthy people to come and dance in a ballroom.
Their perspective is so off on this.
So crazy.
Because you know what happens, and I could argue about the statistics about unemployment and all that. We could talk about that. But it is interesting when I hear them sort of hand clutching, pearl clutching and hand wringing about the inflation rate. Joe Biden was up over 9%. So I don't know about you, but I always want the inflation rate and I want the cost of things to be lower. But I mean, for me, and I know for a lot of folks, we remember what it was under Joe Biden. The president has done a lot of really good things. He's still working on the economy. Dude hasn't even been in office for a year. So I think for these ladies on The View, I think that what they're doing, they will just try to find any kind of an angle to be outraged over anything Donald Trump does, including this ballroom.
Yes.
Which to me, it makes sense. Why go over to, some fancy schmancy hotel to rent out their ballroom? We can do it right here. Now, do you remember what I asked about a month ago, Joan? I said, do you believe that the Democrats will be so outraged over this ballroom that it'll never get used if a Democrat is in office? Remember that?
Yes, and I bet you're right about it.
I think that these Democrats, they are so petulant that they'll just say, oh, we're not going to use this ballroom because it's a mega ballroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or they'll turn it into like a yard sale site, Oh,
They'll probably rename it the non-gender affirming room.
That's exactly right.
Here, you want to hear how ABC is dealing with this?
Yeah, by the way, to what Sam said, Democrats end up in office, every waiter must be trans something or another. And no, God help us, no white Christian males allowed to work in the ballroom under the Democrats. What,
Didn't Biden bring in like that non-binary dance team for Christmas or something?
Do you remember that, Joan?
Oh, yeah.
RJ, good for you, man, chiming in as he's training. Yeah, you remember that whole weirdness of... I don't think you were with us, but I remember...
The odd, creepy nature of those people dancing in the White House. Jeez.
I remember saying to Johnny on that day, I said, are we all on LSD and we didn't even know it?
No, because that would be fun.
That's exactly right. How did ABC deal with this, John?
Okay, ready. Here you go. This is Rachel Scott from ABC.
A lot of people very critical over this project, especially because federal workers are not getting paid at this point. This is going to be a dramatic undertaking here at the White House and one of the biggest changes in decades. Part of the East Wing here at the White House came tumbling down to make room for President Trump's ballroom.
Oh, my gosh. It came tumbling down.
President Trump's ball. It's President Trump's ballroom.
Also, it's 90,000 square feet, so it's bigger than the White House itself is 55,000 square feet. So they're enraged that it's so big.
This thing is 90,000 square feet?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
It's got to be bigger. It's got to be better.
Gotta be
It's
bigger.
going to be the best ever ballroom.
Okay, and they're also very uptight. They said the president lied.
The president once promised the project would not interfere with the current structure of the White House.
It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite.
But bulldozers ripped away portions of the East Wing yesterday.
Oh, my gosh. They ripped away portions of the East Wing.
I think that they're just going to be outraged over it. That's what I mean. It's like I've got outrage fatigue this morning.
I think we all do. Really.
It's like if you're going to be outraged over everything, then... How do these folks, like the ladies on The View, how do they ever get any peace? Like, that would be my question. There's so many things to be outraged over in this world, and they're going on and on about this stupid ballroom.
And I know this was private funds, but I can't help but imagine how far $250 million could go for families who can't put food on the table. Right?
Oh, my goodness gracious. You want to talk about what Doge found, you ninny? Remember all of the millions and billions of dollars that Elon Musk and Doge found that was wasteful spending when Biden was in office? Do you remember the millions of dollars that Lee Zeldin saved when he comes into office and he finds out that after Biden lost, or Kamala Harris lost the election, they put all of this money, I mean hundreds of millions of dollars, into the EPA, and from there, that money was funneled to, Democrat-run NGOs and all that. Remember all that? So I would say to these moronic, hand-wringing liberals on The View, why don't you talk about how much money Joe Biden and the Democrats wasted during the 4 hours that he was in office, 4 years that Joe Biden was in office? Is there anything going on in traffic? Nothing going on in traffic?
Nothing at all. Nope.
All right, let's talk about the car crash on The View.
That's what struck me. It's a $250 million project. It's going to be tacky and gaudy. You know that.
And people are losing their health
and they're losing their health
to give tax breaks to multimillionaires.
For the love of it.
The two are separate issues. They don't even have anything to do with one another.
Do you know what I need? No, you're right, Joe. I need, do you remember, you guys wouldn't remember this, but when Brian Wilson was on the morning show, he had this bell.
Oh, yes.
This bell. Anyway, so he had this bell, but I'm starting to wish that I had my own bell. Do you know why? Because every time I hear a Democrat talking point, I just want to go ahead and ding the bell. When the dingbats start going through their litany of talking points, I just want to ding the bell. It'll be the dingbat.
Dingiest bell.
Dingbat bell is what it'll be.
Billionaires who probably are some of the private donors for this tacky, gaudy, nasty ballroom.
How does this woman know it's going to be tacky and gaudy?
Gaudy, nasty.
Do you know what's so funny, though?
Gosh.
If you look at the Views logo, it itself is tacky and gaudy because it's gold and it's got a big V, and I think that their logo is tacky and gaudy.
Gaudy.
Who did that? Was that you? Was that you, Sam? Very nice.
And the thing that you said, Whoopi, was the first thing that came to mind. It's tacky. See? I mean, and the thing.
It looks like a casino ball.
It looks like Mar-a-Lago. It looks like Mar-a-Lago, which is tacky. And I think for me, Whoopi, the first thing that came to mind was.
Do you know what I thought when I saw that ballroom picture?
Mm-hmm.
Whoopi. Not Whoopi, but
Right.
Whoopi. I think it looks... Okay, that's going to get old real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it looks nice. Do you think it looks tacky? I mean, I get that, there's some gold
like
in
a
there.
Ballroom, for heaven's sakes.
Yes, it looks like a ballroom.
And can you imagine when there are state dinners or, events that the White House can now host?
Oh, that's going to be amazing.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
I mean, there's a reason why the highfalutin hotels in Las Vegas have their own ballrooms.
And believe me, there's nothing like that in D.C.
Oh, no? Probably in some of the higher falutin hotels, but...
Yeah. The Trump Hotel, which is now not the Trump Hotel anymore, but,
Right.
he changed the post office into the Trump Hotel. That was opulent and beautiful. That may have a ballroom.
I think these ladies are just so jelly. You know what I mean? I think they're just, whatever Trump does, they're going to get ticked off about. And it's just...
They don't know classy from a hole in the ground. Honestly, they just don't know.
That this is a metaphor for what's going on in our country. He is tearing down the house.
Oh, my God. They are like... I don't know. I forget the names of all these cackling hens. But the level of outrage over something that isn't even being paid for by taxpayer dollars is kind of off the charts.
Yeah, really.
Like I'm looking at the face of one of these women on The View.
It's such ugly outrage.
Sunny Hostin.
Yeah.
Over the top.
He is tearing down the people's house. He's an nihilist. And I think, he does seem to think that it's his house, that he is a king.
You don't know.
No, it is. And, I mean, just over the weekend, you have 7 million people telling him that's not your house. You are not a king.
And a Lord. You know, they give me a headache. They do. And I know. I haven't even logged into the super text line yet.
Can you imagine what they do to their husbands? And I'm not talking about Whoopi because we know she ain't married, but I'm pretty sure that the rest of them may have husbands or others at home. Can you imagine how awful they are to their own family?
Well, they probably get home and you know, they like start screaming at their husbands that they're like part of the patriarchy and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. Well, clearly their husbands are probably the ones scrubbing the floors and doing the laundry, because that's all you see on commercials anyway, is that the man does all the housework now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Just ridiculous.
I get home. By the way, I got a funny Amy story coming up.
Oh, good.
Yes. All right. It is 5:21 on Nashville's Morning News, and Joan has the news coming up at 5:30. Joan, what do we got?
Yeah, the shutdown dragging on and liberals' outrage. Also, the Tennessee just got a couple of new state parks. Pretty cool story here coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
526 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you. Hope you folks are doing well. Hey, just a programming note, Joan.
What is that?
I'm not here tomorrow or Friday.
Oh.
I'm going to be on red eye.
You're not having a second vasectomy?
No.
No?
Trust me when I say one was enough. One was, nobody told me, I don't want to get too personal, but nobody told me that it would still be sore like 5 days after the fact. I mean, good Lord, man.
The too personal ship sailed with all the snipping sounds.
Did it? Was that okay, fine. My apologies. Anyway, so I am going to do red eye. But not so secret fact about me is that I'm a workaholic. Everyone knows that. It's been a problem since I started working at the age of 13, 14 years old. Last year, I left a week's worth of vacation on the table.
What? Don't ever do that.
So,
Ugh.
You sound like Amy. That was Amy's response.
Ugh.
Now,
don't ever do that.
Now, if it was up to me, I'd be here, but it's up to the little woman at home. And she doesn't like me working myself to death.
It's better in her hands.
So she said, you know what, you're doing red eye, and we plotted our vacation for the year, and I still had several days that I was not going to be taking. So she said, just take a couple of days off. That's all you got to do. We also, by the way, have some follow-up appointments with her after her surgery and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, Brian Wilson is going to be here.
Nice.
Not be here. He'll be at home. You think he'll bring his bell?
Well, we can ask him to.
We can ask Brian to bring his bell,
I'm sure everybody will just love that.
Listen, I grew to like Brian's bell. But it's funny because I'm beginning to hate it all over again. So anyway, there you go.
Didn't take long.
528 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Here's where we're going today. We've got a live report on Israel coming up at 6:35 from our friends at the Heritage Foundation. President Trump had, again, second day in a row, some very harsh things to say about Hamas. So we're going to get into everything that is going on with Israel. I'm not sure if Brian's going to join us. It is Wednesday, and Brian usually joins us in the 7 o'clock hour, the beginning of the 7 o'clock hour. I'm not sure if he's going to be there with us to this morning. Hopefully he is, and he can give us a preview as to what he's going to talk about, coming up tomorrow and Friday. But we have that. One of my favorite stories of the day is, and I did this on Red Eye, but Jen Psaki had some really not so nice things to say about J.D. Vance. I know that I was talking to somebody the other day, and the person said, I cannot wait, and it's conservative. I can't wait till Donald Trump is out of office so that the Republicans, we don't have to deal with the drama of Donald Trump. And the Democrats will act like normal people again. And I kind of laughed. I said, do you really believe that all of this hatred will leave once Donald Trump leaves office? No. The Democrats, they are truly in touch with their inner vileness. And it is now out, and the claws are out. And so the pitchforks are out. The torches are out. And so whether it is J.D. Vance, whether it is Ron DeSantis, whether it is Marco Rubio, I don't care who is in the Oval Office. The sickness, the vile nature of the Democrats who have been applauding 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump, the murder of Charlie Kirk. Do you really think they're going to turn into suddenly normal people again? Sadly, no. So they are just right now, they're filled with the hatred. They're filled with the vitriol. And I don't care who is in the Oval Office. The Democrats are going to be like this because they are a broken party and they are a broken people. It is 5:30 on WTN.
Good Good morning. It's now 5:31. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We are at 46 degrees right now. Fair skies. We'll get up near 70 degrees today. It's going to be a gorgeous day in the sunshine. In the news this morning, a car rammed into a barricade at the White House overnight. This happened about 10:30 last night. Secret Service saying that the male driver was immediately arrested. The site is about 300 to 400 yards from the president's residence. This is day 22 of the government shutdown and still no end in sight. Republican Senator Katie Britt of Alabama says she is not taking a paycheck while others are not being paid.
Money is running out and people will go without their SNAP benefits as soon as the end of this month or the very beginning of the next month. Look, these are real things. These are real consequences. And this is what I wish my Democrat colleagues would realize.
Meantime, President Trump hosted a luncheon with some members of Congress yesterday.
On day 21 of the government shutdown, the president inviting Senate Republican leaders to lunch in the Rose Garden.
You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction to the back.
Telling them all about the construction underway for his new $250 million ballroom.
That's music to my ears. I love that sound. Other people don't like it. I love it.
The president once said the project wouldn't interfere with the current structure of the White House. But cameras caught bulldozers razing parts of the East Wing.
That's ABC's Mary Bruce reporting. Tennessee just gained 2 new state parks. What had been a growing swath of land known as South Cumberland State Park has just been divvied up into 3 distinct parks. Savage Gulf, that was established in 2022. And then this week's newly announced parks, Fiery Gizzard and Head of the Crow. State officials say breaking up the area ensures that each one receives dedicated management, resources, and conservation. That is the latest news. Traffic is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Still no problems on the roads this morning, although I am seeing some slower traffic on 24 heading into Nashville. Otherwise, looking good. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.537, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. Joan, have you ever been to a presidential library?
I have not.
I haven't either. And as people may or may not know, I think I've said this on the air, but I have very few things left on my bucket list. But Ronald Reagan's Presidential Library in California is the only thing that will ever bring me back to the state of California. So Donald Trump, you know, he's got this apparently a $2 billion presidential library that he, of course, wants to have built. I know that you'll be shocked, but a lawsuit has ensued, and it looks like the location where Trump wanted to put it,
in Miami?
It may not happen.
Really?
Mm-hmm. This is from the Daily Mail.
It's going to happen everywhere he goes.
Oh, that's the thing, Joan.
Yeah.
It is going to happen everywhere he goes. Everything he wants to do, there's going to be a lawsuit. Donald Trump's dream of a $2 billion presidential library in turmoil as a judge sides with a woke professor who has a huge axe to grind. So this guy, Dr. Marvin Dunn, he is a professor, 85-year-old retired professor who has repeatedly compared Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler. Dr. Marvin Dunn, 85, who has claimed that Trump's use of the state of Florida to target political enemies is no different from the German dictator Adolf Hitler. He launched the legal case that is threatening to upend ambitious plans for the commander-in-chief's legacy. And so they say it makes Donald Trump the latest president to face problems over his library. Last month, the state of Florida approved a plan to donate a site in downtown Miami for the Donald J. Trump Presidential Library in Miami. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't know why would they put it in Miami?
That's a good question. I didn't see Miami as being a good choice anyway.
Yeah, I don't know why they would want to put it in Miami because Miami, number one, it's really crowded. And number two, even though it has recently flipped for the Republicans, I don't know why Miami. I don't. But also, would you put it in New York? No.
No.
They hate him in New York. Would you put it in, he lives in what, Palm Beach, right?
Palm Beach.
So
yep.
Would you put it in Palm Beach?
Palm Beach sounds like a better idea to me, although I don't know. I mean, it's...
See, there's not enough other things to do in Palm Beach. That's the problem, right? So people like to go and Reagan's library is in Simi Valley, California. And there's all kinds of stuff going on in Simi Valley and in California. So,
and the Hermitage, I mean, it's close to Nashville. So
the Hermitage is that's right. I've been to Andrew Jackson's. That's not his. That's his old home. But is that his actually presidential library?
It's not his library, but it is his old house, like where he grew up, like the plantation.
Do you know what's weird about the Hermitage? Have you been there yet, Joan?
I have not.
RJ?
I went there several years ago. It's actually really cool. They have a gimmick where the audio tour is narrated by Jackson's pet parrot.
What?
Yeah, he had a pet parrot in real life, so they make the parrot a character in part of the audio tour.
How did I miss? Oh, you know what? I didn't do the audio tour. Do you know what I find interesting about the Hermitage? Is they've got his bedroom. I mean, it's Andrew Jackson's old home, and they've got because I guess Andrew Jackson died in his bedroom, right there in his bed.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why that fascinates me, but it does. And the Hermitage, one of my favorite places to go. Although apparently I missed the talking bird. But now Trump has to go through legal process to have to fight this in court in Miami. The 2.63-acre property next to the historic Freedom Tower is a developer's dream, they say. one of the last undeveloped lots on an iconic stretch of palm tree-lined Biscayne Boulevard with waterfront views. So Trump has previously told donors that he hoped to raise $2 billion for his library, which, by the way, the crowd that Donald Trump runs with, $2 billion is an afternoon lunch. You know what I mean? So the site is currently used as an employee parking lot for the state-run Miami-Dade College's Wolfson campus, I guess. So, I mean, it's a parking lot. It is literally a parking lot. But here's the problem. Do you know what the problem is? Is that you got somebody with an axe to grind. And by the way, this guy used to be a professor at the college. And so you can find, and he's a lawyer, of course. So this guy, Marvin Dunn, you can always find a lawyer to take a case, especially if they're going after Donald Trump. And you can always find a judge to do what the lawyer wants you to do. There's so many anti-Trump judges out there. And so I don't know what obviously this has got to make its way through the courts. But good Lord, man. I mean, you hit it right on the head, Joan, which is everywhere Donald Trump is going to go. I'm surprised that they've been able to get, this much of that ballroom that we're talking about in the first segment. I'm surprised that wasn't hit with some sort of legal challenge.
Well, so what he did was he's very smart. He stacked, there's a preservation committee that would oversee these kinds of things. And he made sure that there were Trump appointees on that committee before he even started this process.
Just like a king.
Just like a king.
Do you know what? If America ever had a king, I'd want it to be Donald Trump.
Yeah, me too.
Is that going to trigger people? By the way, hear what Donald Trump said about Barack Obama's presidential library.
You're building your ballroom right now. They're also building the Obama Presidential Library. I'm wondering if you've
needs help.
Have you seen pictures of the architecture? And
yeah, I did. It's not too pretty. No, but it's closed. It's stopped. They ran out of money. It means building a library / museum. You call it some museum, and usually they call it library and museum. That's the official name. And they're stuck. And he wanted only women and DEI to build it. Well, that's what they got. And the construction workers are standing out there and saying, we want to be able to build it. I built a great building in Chicago, as you know, a big, beautiful building, one of the tallest buildings in the country. And we got it built very quickly, very well. And
Have you seen the concrete, Joan? The photos of the concrete?
It's so ugly.
With Obama's presidential library. So not only is it ugly, which it is, and if you're watching on Super Talk TV, I've got a picture of it there. Like, I don't know anything about architecture, but what I do know is ugly, and that's ugly. And it looks like, what design would you call that? I mean, people say that it does look like the Death Star, which is so appropriate because Democrats, of course, they love their abortions, so whatever. But it does. People say that it looks like the Death Star. And, I mean, Trump was right. They ran into so many problems. They've run into so many problems on the south side of Chicago when they were building this, and I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, where President Trump says they only wanted, DEI and women and all this kind of stuff. It very well could be true, knowing the Democrats, because everything that they do is riddled with DEI. But the pictures of the concrete, it's not even fully, done yet, and it's got cracks all in it. And so people are like, I mean, Trump is right. They are. They're kind of stuck. They don't really know what to do because the concrete already has cracks in it. They're apparently woefully over budget. And I mean, the thing is huge, and it looms over the rest of the city. And it's almost looks like somebody's compensating is all I'm going to say.
What do you mean by that, Dan?
Nothing. Really, Joan? You can't. You know what? This is what I love about Joan.
I just want to hear it.
You can't just go with the joke. You're gonna make me explain it like everybody knows what I'm talking about.
I don't know. I think that it requires explanation.
You know what? It's like the guys who Amy and I have this joke where when you're driving down the street and somebody has a big muffler, the whole thing.
Yeah.
First thing we say, man, he's compensating.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right, so we all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. By the way, funny Amy story. So I'm doing red eye, and she is sleeping on the couch. The reason she's sleeping on the couch is because her bed is like too soft and she can't get comfortable.
Yeah.
So she's sleeping on the couch. You ever try to be quiet?
Oh,
and it is impossible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everything that I do, every sound that I make is just magnified 1,000 times. Right down to, like, when you use a Keurig and the little needle goes into the pod, it's like any other day, it's,
Yeah.
But when I did it this morning at like 3 o'clock.
Did she hear it?
I can hear you. It's like the more you try to be quiet, the louder you get. And then, of course, I go into the dishwasher to grab a coffee cup. And when I opened up the door, the dishes started settling. And so you had all of the sound of dishes clanging together. It's like you can't win. And then, of course, I can't find the keys, and I've got my stupid phone. Oh, yeah. Then I've got my phone as a flashlight, and I'm looking for my keys to get out the door. This is the kind of day I'm having, folks. The alarm on my phone goes off 2 feet from Amy.
Oh, no.
Because I had set it I took a little nap in this whole thing, but I'd set my alarm incorrectly, and I set it for, the wrong time. And so she's like, she actually cursed in her, quiet, sleepy stupor. She cursed at me. So that's like that. And she was being nice about it because, but she knows that I'm.
How do you curse nicely? That's my question.
Listen, when you're married, you're allowed to curse at your spouse as long as you do it nicely and there's nothing thrown at your head. Right?
Never been there, Dan. Couldn't tell you.
You really, Joe? You've never thrown anything at your husband?
No.
Any of the past ones? All right, moving right along. Hey, Turning Point is doing well. So this is the headline, and this is great news. Turning Point USA, faith organization, sees an explosive growth in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death. These are new numbers. Organization doubles the church network to 8,000 and gains 200,000 new Christians in 1 month.
Wow.
Isn't that huge? You wonder why the Democrats, with the whole No Kings thing, and now they're, going crazy over the ballroom and everything else Donald Trump wants to do. Do you know why the Democrats are so angry? Because everywhere they look, Donald Trump is winning. Everywhere you look, there's something else to celebrate with Trump, whether it is, what's going on in Israel. I mean, that was a huge one, with the president and finding the whole peace accord there in Israel and Hamas. We'll have to see where that whole thing goes. Military recruitment is up. I mean, we could go on and on. But I think the problem the Democrats have right now is that no matter how hard they try to go after Donald Trump and win some narrative against the president, he just keeps winning. And it's the same thing with Turning Point USA. Andrew Colvett, who is the TPUSA spokesman, confirming to Fox News that, this was yesterday, that its church network has reached 8,000 in one of the largest growth spikes in the organization's history. So while you have the Democrats and the whole No Kings thing, and they're running around in their silly little costumes and, their silly signs and their little dancing and all the ridiculousness that they were doing, Turning Point USA is churning out more Christians, more chapters, more organizations as well, and really just grabbing hold of that narrative. And I
You know,
love that for Turning Point.
They were at Indiana University last night. Did you hear this?
No.
They had 3,500 people in attendance. Now listen to this. 3,500 people turn out, and they said that they turned away thousands
No kidding.
as they were, packing that stadium last night. So
Well,
they were
remember-
there actually to see Tucker Carlson has been on tour for TPUSA. So they were there to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure I understand the relationship between Tucker Carlson and USA, but whatever.
So they do these tours with all of these various conservative speakers.
Conservative stars, yeah.
Tucker is a little bit of an odd fit, but
I think so, too.
Yeah, but he's still sort of in the same room, if you will. And so, but what I said the day that I came back on the air after the assassination of Charlie Kirk was share his message, share that message. And people have. And so more and more people are discovering Charlie Kirk, and I think that's great.
I said stadium, by the way. It's a huge auditorium on the campus.
Fake news.
Fake news again.
Fake
Yes,
news,
I know.
Joan. Hey, more fake news with
Me.
Joan is coming up at 6. By the way, coming up also all the latest on the shutdown, what's going on in Israel. Got a big show planned. It is at 5:53. Joan, what's coming up?
Yeah, we'll tell you what happened before a U.S. Marshal shot an illegal alien in L.A. yesterday. Also, the wandering pig of Mount Juliet is back home again.
There's a wandering pig?
Yeah. You
Really?
didn't know this? Yeah.
No.
Right in your hometown, Dan?
Hometown?
Jeez. Mount Juliet?
Oh, that's my, it's
Wow.
It's Mount Juliet.
Okay. Is your home there?
Girlfriend, it's Mount Juliet.
Juliet.
Not Mount Juliet.
I'm sorry.
What are you, from Maryland?
No, New Jersey.
Whatever. All right. I didn't know about the wandering pig, so I'll be sure to tune in at 6 o'clock.
All right.
That and a whole lot more coming up on Super Talk 99.7. 5:58, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So, Harry Sisson, can you make sure that I'm saying this right, Sam? Is it Sisson? Because I keep wanting to say Sissy, but it is Sisson, right?
No, I mean, I agree with you. It's definitely Harry Sissy.
Okay, but anyway, Harry Sisson. He was made the stupid mistake of challenging conservatives on Piers Morgan's show. Name a Democrat who has called Donald Trump Hitler. And you had one of them on the panel actually brought receipts, and Jack Posobiec was also on this panel. Can I just say, and I'm gonna repeat what I said yesterday, that for Harry Sisson, he is the happiest guy in the world right now, Joan.
Why is that?
Because he's getting all of the attention that he wants.
Yeah.
And he gets to be like, he gets aggrieved victim status.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what the Democrats just absolutely love. So we're gonna talk about this, but it's also a great visual. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, you got to see this because his face, as he's dealing with Posobiec and some of these other folks on this panel, his face is contorting. Because he realizes, I believe, that he is losing the argument big time. So I've got that for you, the latest on the shutdown, all the latest from Israel as well. Very busy morning here on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 6 o'clock now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. You may want to grab that jacket. It's 64, make that 46 degrees. Wow. And we're going up to a sunny high near 70 later on today. A U.S. Marshal and an illegal alien with a criminal record were both shot and wounded during a traffic stop in L.A. yesterday.
DHS officials say agents used a standard pit maneuver to detain the suspect who had escaped custody in the past. They say this time, when the man rammed a federal vehicle trying to evade arrest, officers opened fire, hitting him in the elbow. A bullet ricocheting into the hand of the U.S. Marshal. Both men were hospitalized. The suspect, a TikToker known as Richard LA18, is an influencer known for capturing video of ICE operations in L.A., even recognized by the city of L.A. for his contributions to the community.
Wow, ABC's Matt Rivers there. From the swimming pool to the library, swimmer Riley Gaines pointed to the Sumner County Library Board, seen as a pushback to woke ideology in public libraries. She spoke to WTN's Matt Murphy show.
I think people don't believe it's happening right here. It's not happening in our backyard. You know, we're immune to this stuff. That's truthfully, Matt, that's how naive I was. I didn't think it was happening here. No way. This is a conservative part of Tennessee.
In August, the Sumner County Library Board rejected a ban on transgender kid books. A pig that was found wandering down Nonaville Road in Mount Juliet on Monday night has been reunited with its owners. The Wilson County Sheriff's Office gave that pig a space to stay overnight while they searched for the owners who turned up yesterday. They claimed the pig. Wilson County, by the way, says it offers a livestock log that residents can use to register their animals just in case of situations like this where they wander away. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com.
Solid earnings reports from the likes of Coca-Cola lifted the Dow Jones 218 points to a record close just under 47,000. The Nasdaq Composite yesterday finished down 0.16%. The S&P 500 was unchanged at the end of the session. Shares in Netflix fell about 7% in extended trading Tuesday after the company missed third-quarter earnings expectations. Facing rising home prices and high mortgage rates, potential home buyers are taking their time. Real estate company Redfin says sellers outnumber buyers by about 500,000. With hundreds of costume shops in its portfolio, Spirit Halloween is branching out. The company plans to open 30 spin-off Spirit Christmas stores in 12 states before the holidays. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Stock futures pretty flat this morning. That's the latest news. Traffic is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Getting a little slower now on 24 westbound this morning as you're traveling, and looks like it's getting slower too on 65 heading south. Otherwise, this morning, looking pretty good on the roads. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.606 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, and I hope you're doing well for this Wednesday, October 22nd. All right, so Harry Sisson, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but this absolutely exploded on the socials last night. And I think that part of why I want to do this story is that it really does personify how just insane the Democrats are right now. So, got some video, gents. Last night on Piers Morgan, you got Pierce, of course. You've got Harry Sisson. Now, if you don't know who Harry Sisson is, he is a basically a leftist influencer, and he was one of these guys, I believe, that was paid to spread, Joe Biden's propaganda.
He still is.
And he still is. So he's basically a leftist troll, and he spreads the leftist propaganda, which is fine. I mean, whatever. But he's on with Jack Posobiec and a woman named Isabel Brown. She, I guess, is now with the Daily Wire. But Sisson is really angry because Donald Trump targeted him in a video where, and we talked about this yesterday, where Trump is flying a plane, and you've got the plane that Trump is flying, and it's dropping, fecal matter on a bunch of the No Kings protesters, including Harry Sisson. It was very funny, and I would actually bet that Trump had no idea, and still has no idea, who Harry Sisson is. I mean, I didn't. Most of you don't either, but the younger crowd probably does. Anyway. So Sisson is on with Posobiec and Isabel Brown, and he asks the question, what high-ranking Democrat official or whatever has actually called Donald Trump Hitler? So what high-ranking Democrat has actually called Donald Trump Hitler? It didn't go well for Harry Sisson. Listen.
By the way, I'd be happy to answer the question about whether or not a high-ranking Democrat has used this rhetoric. Who is Kamala Harris?
I know. I want you to answer all the questions. I want you to answer all the questions.
For you. Who is Kamala Harris?
Wait. Answer all the questions I just gave you. And can you name me when Kamala Harris said that Donald Trump is Hitler?
Who was when
did Kamala Harris? Great.
Was Kamala Harris last year a high-ranking Democrat when she?
So basically, I think what's going on, and Joan, you can chime in here, and Sam too. But I think what Sisson is trying to do is say that no one has ever actually used the words Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler. I think that's what he's trying to do, because to sit here and try to tell us that Jasmine Crockett or Tim Walz or Kamala Harris and some of these other high-ranking Democrats have not called Donald Trump Hitler by using other language, including, remember that whole thing in Madison Square Garden last year, where Trump was going to do and did do that big event at Madison Square Garden. And the people on the left absolutely freaked out because, they're talking about how this is like a big Nazi gathering like they had in, I think it was the 1920s. So Sisson, and if you're watching on Super Talk TV, you're going to see that once you find Jack Posobiec and also Isabel Brown, once they start telling him, oh, yeah, this person and this person and this person, his face starts contorting. Because I think what's happened is in his world of as a Democrat influencer, nobody ever gives him actual proof because he's in an echo chamber.
Well, he gets his talking points handed to him.
What do you mean? Like, literally he gets his talking points? From the Biden administration.
Yeah, from the DNC.
Yes.
They'll send him and other influencers talking points, and they're almost the same scripts. And then he also tries to obfuscate by talking really, really fast and asking a whole bunch of questions at once.
Yes.
He was.
When did Kamala
nominee.
Harris call Donald Trump Hitler?
October
Last
of 2024, Kamala Harris said on the campaign trail, Donald Trump vowed to be a dictator on day one. His former chief of staff said he wanted generals like Hitler's. Donald Trump openly admires dictators, including Adolf Hitler. Last October, that was said on the campaign trail from the Democrat.
So Kamala Harris said this during the campaign, during the closing days.
Exactly.
And just so you know, his face, if you're not watching on Super Talk TV, if you're just listening on the radio, Harry Sisson's face, it's contorting. I don't know how else to describe it, but it is contorting in like feigned surprise and that kind of thing. So when, Sam, you told me about this story, I see why it went viral because Sisson, he looks like a buffoon.
He's scrambling for a way to defend himself.
Right.
Campaign. It was her final campaign pitch. Is that high enough ranking for you? You guys you supported her for president.
Exactly, because there have been reports
the person
that Donald
you
Trump
supported for president
is
someone
just relax,
who was
Jack.
campaigning by calling Trump Hitler.
Jack,
you're so disingenuous when you bring this stuff up. You
wait, guys,
Do people think that, I think somebody has said that he's on, is it ketamine? People,
really?
People talk about how Harry Sisson is on ketamine. The same thing that they accuse Elon Musk of being on. But people have said, dude, ease up on the keto. Is that what they call it, ketamine? Do I have this right?
No idea.
Okay, fine.
Ketamine, yeah.
Yeah, ketamine, right?
Yeah, keto sounds like the keto diet. You on that keto diet?
Candidate was on the campaign. She got a video about it. It's on her Facebook, or it's on her Twitter page.
Let me offer one here, which is Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton literally compared Trump's rally in Ohio last week to Nazi leader Adolf Hitler's speeches. Speaking of the Texas Tribune Festival in Austin, she made reference to Hitler's speeches, which saw people raise their right arms in the air in the Nazi salute.
You know what's so funny? Okay, so here's what's going on, because I'm seeing this for the first time. What's funny is you've got Piers Morgan, Jack Posobiec, and Isabel Brown, and he asked the question. He's the one that posed the question. Tell me what high-ranking Democrat has called Donald Trump Hitler. And so Posobiec and Brown and Piers Morgan, they're all bringing the receipts. And he's overwhelmed with all of the evidence that is being thrown in his face, and he's got nowhere to go.
I remember as a young student, trying to figure out how people basically got bought in by Hitler, she said.
Louise.
How did that happen? I'd watch newsreels and I'd see this guy standing there ranting and raving and so on. It happens all the time.
Yeah, so this is just, you know what this is? This is just another example of these Democrats and these influencers who, what they're trying to do is they're trying to gaslight America again. And again, this Sisson, he had nowhere to go. They got him dead to rights, and people clearly know that Tim Walz, October of 2024, compared Donald Trump's Madison Square Garden rally to that 1939 pro-Nazi event at Madison Square Garden. He's likened ICE policies to the Gestapo and Donald Trump to descending into madness like Hitler, citing desires for generals like Adolf Hitler. Jasmine Crockett calling Donald Trump Timu Hitler, a low-budget version of Hitler, and a wannabe Hitler, tying it to rally comparisons with 1939 Nazi events. Jerry Nadler did the same thing. Kamala Harris did the same thing. Joe Biden compared Donald Trump's language to Adolf Hitler's and Mussolini's. And Joan, do you know how long it took me to find all that?
Yes.
10 seconds. You go to Grok and it's all right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I don't know what this guy, I don't know why he is trying to run from this narrative that the Democrats have been playing since Donald Trump came into office, since he came down that elevator.
It's been a long time they've been TDSing.
So why does he? I guess my question is, I'm a little confused. Y'all have been Democrats. Y'all have been very proud and really unrelenting in calling Donald Trump Hitler. So why is he trying to deny it? Why don't you just steer into it? That seems to be, I don't know, what they believe has been working for them. And by the way, you got Hillary Clinton, Hank Johnson, you've got Al Gore. I mean, all of these people, Pramila Jayapal, I mean, I could go on. And then you start going into, okay, so those are all high-ranking Democrats. We could go into the media because the media has certainly been guilty of this as well. So there's no shortage of evidence that these Democrats have been calling Donald Trump Hitler. So I don't know what all Harry is trying to do. Maybe it was not in his Democrat, talking points, the facts that the paper facts, not the facts, FACTS, but the FAX. I'm dating myself. But maybe it wasn't on his facsimile that came in over the last 24 hours. But, I mean, it is clear that this is a narrative that the Democrats have been trying to put forward for a long time. 6:15, time to check the roads on WTN. All righty, as far as your weather goes, mostly sunny today, a little breezy, a high of 66, feeling like 65. Going to get down to 44 degrees tonight, chilly. And appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super text line is open, 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. Day 22, in case you're just joining us, just waking up, yes, the government is still shut down. John Fetterman, need some video and some audio, please. John Fetterman was asked about all of this. Of course, one of the few Democrats that has the sense to say, yeah, maybe we do need to keep the government open.
Yeah, it's Groundhog Day, and I'm just saying, and it's not entertaining. That's a great movie, but this is shit. And now it's like real damage are now touching the lives of regular Americans, and we all lose, and it's embarrassing to our allies and to our enemies abroad.
You know who it's embarrassing to? It's embarrassing to Democrats. And by the way, Fetterman is correct. This is touching the lives of the American people. Joan, you sent me an email from a woman, and it's one of our dear listeners who her life has been impacted by this shutdown. If you're like a contractor for the government, your life has been impacted. Sam was telling me off the air that a friend of his was going to get involved with the GI Bill, right? He was going to get his education paid for with the GI Bill, and he's just getting ready to utilize it. And now that the government is shut down, he can't get his paperwork through. And so now he's talking about, instead of going to college on the GI Bill like he was promised, because of Chuck Schumer and the Democrats, because of their shutdown, he's now looking at doing what?
Getting a temp job, because he's on medical disability, and that's going to get cut off.
I mean, it's awful. And so Fetterman is right. And here's the deal. It is clear. I mean, all you got to do is read the stories and look at who voted for what. And every single Republican has voted to keep the government open. The Democrats, by and large, have voted to keep the government closed. So Republicans are saying, and now Donald Trump is out there saying, and I'll get to some specifics here in a minute, but Trump is out there now saying that I'm not going to talk to the Democrats. Why should I? Because you got Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, and they're saying, oh, Donald Trump needs to get involved. And, Trump is saying, screw you. Why should I get involved? There's no point in having a conversation until the Democrats vote to reopen the government. And if they're not going to reopen the government, well, then why am I going to bother to try to help them out of this absolute mess that they have put themselves in? So now we're 22 days in. And it seems to me, I don't know, it doesn't seem like there's any sign that the government is going to open up any day soon. And you know, for Trump, he's like, why am I going to help them? Why should anybody send the Democrats a lifeline? They know that this shutdown is on them. Look at the polling. You know, a while back, you know, when this whole thing first started, the American people were blaming both Donald Trump and the Democrats. But now, more and more, as the messaging is out there and as people are beginning to realize exactly what is going on, that the Republicans want to simply open up the government and then start negotiating. The Democrats want to keep the government closed. And that is how they have voted, 11 times now? 11 times. And so now they're saying, oh, Donald Trump needs to get involved. And Trump's like, yeah, I don't think so. You wanted this. You got it. FAFO. Mess around and find out. That's exactly what is going on. It is 6:21. Joan's got the news at 6:30. Joan.
Yeah, we'll tell you why Dems are suing House Speaker Mike Johnson. That's coming up here at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.621 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN Vision for Life. This is where I went to go for my vision correction surgery. I love these folks. They did great work for me, and they can help you as well. Now, right now, they are celebrating 20 years of 2020. Since 2005, Dr. Jeff Horn has provided thousands of patients 20/20 or better vision. Dr. Horn's expertise and dedication have made him a leader in cataract, LASIK, and other vision correction surgeries. Dr. Horn's commitment to providing the best possible patient experience, in addition to the most advanced technologies in vision correction, have made Vision for Life one of the premier vision correction centers in the world. You call them up, you tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. They are going to work you through all of your different questions. And they're going to spend a lot of time with you, no matter how long it takes. If you've got questions, they've got answers at Vision for Life. 615-436-2020. 615-436-2020. Help them celebrate 20 years of providing 2020 by scheduling your consultation today. 615-436-2020. Find them online, visionforlife.com. That's visionforlife.com. 628, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Appreciate you listening. There was a moment, I think this is on local Memphis TV, where a representative there who I believe has been anti-Trump, bringing in additional security, whether it be National Guard or the surge of other law enforcement, because, of course, we all know that Memphis has some crime problems. But listen to how this representative starts talking about how things have changed in Memphis. Behavior has changed in Memphis. Listen to this and watch this on Super Talk TV.
Yeah. So what's your overall take, though, on the Memphis Safe Task Force? Because some are, of course, touting, saying crime numbers are really dropping down. Other folks are saying, well, I think they were already dropping before they got here. How do you see it, Representative?
You know, they were already dropping before they got here, and apparently they're dropping more. You know, you can't argue that. I mean, you know, you can see behavioral differences, you know, in our communities. You know, people are rushing out to get their tags now, right? You know, you can switch lanes without a fin almost knocking you off the freeway, you know, zipping past you at 1,000 miles per hour. There are behavioral differences that are happening, and it's evident.
So there you go. So, I mean, look, behavioral changes. So in Memphis, maybe that means that people aren't murdering each other. I mean, maybe that it sounds like. I think what I'm getting from this representative's words and what he said is that if you got a bunch of law enforcement around, and you heard Governor Lee say, this was a couple of weeks ago, Governor Lee said, you know what, we're probably going to have some semblance of an extra law enforcement surge in Memphis forever, or as long as it takes. And so if you're seeing behavioral differences, and that behavior that we saw before law enforcement surge was murder, robbing, raping, you know, gang activity, all that kind of stuff, and that is now going by the wayside, then to save lives in Memphis and across the country, do what Donald Trump did and just put some law enforcement in those cities, and you will see those behavior changes. It is 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It is now 6:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Arizona's Attorney General has sued U.S. House of Representatives, accusing House Speaker Mike Johnson of refusing to seat Adelita Grijalva. She won a special election in late September to take the congressional seat her father had occupied before his death. The House has been on pause since the government shutdown began, and House Speaker Mike Johnson said, "This is a made-up controversy."
I would say to Rep. Grijalva, if her Democrat colleagues and leadership have not informed her, you can't be serving your constituents right now. You have an office. She's hired 16 employees. They keep going by and knocking on the door and pretending it's locked. If it's locked, it's because Rep. Grijalva is choosing not to represent her constituents. She can be handling their calls, directing them appropriately, and doing lots of important work right now.
He's also saying that he's following the precedent set by Nancy Pelosi, who wouldn't administer the oath of office for Republicans until lawmakers return to Capitol Hill following periods of recess. Arizona's 2 senators have voted to keep the government closed. Both of them are Democrats. They have been voting for the last 11 times no. Murray County has broken ground on its first tornado siren. This comes after an EF3 tornado hit Columbia last year, claiming 1 person's life and injuring 12 others. After that, county leaders approved a bill that allows for 7 new tornado sirens. They are meant, by the way, for alerting people who are outdoors. The county recommends having a weather radio inside to get alerts for approaching tornadoes. In Paris, the Louvre Museum is open again, the first time since Sunday's robbery. The director of that museum is set to make a much-anticipated appearance in front of France's Senate Culture Committee today to answer questions regarding the museum's security and what went wrong on Sunday when 9 pieces were swiped from the museum's Apollo Gallery. That is the latest news. We've got traffic and weather ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. Dan Mandis here at 6:32. Contours, listen, the holidays are coming up. And if you want to slim down for the holidays, if you want to feel your best and feel confident, check in with my friends at Contours. Now, I've done the Belly Buster special, Chad Benson, and now Matt Murphy has done it as well. What is a belly buster special from Contours. How can it help you? Well, a lot of folks lose at least 2 inches in the middle utilizing red light technology. It is not only incredibly unique, it is effective as well. It is impactful. And right now, Contours is offering you, if you're one of the first 10 callers, a belly buster special for just $99. So you want to feel confident, you want to fit into that pair of pants or that dress or whatever for the holidays, start going to Contours and use these belly buster specials. They are going to help you lose weight and feel more confident. The phone number to call, you got to call right now, first 10 callers, 615-236-9960. You call right now, you're one of the first 10 callers, and you get that belly buster special for just $99. That is a huge deal. Now, folks have been coming from all across Middle Tennessee to check out Contours. If you want to find out more about the Belly Buster Special, ContoursLLC.com is the website, ContoursLLC.com. Find out all about Contours red light technology. Call them right now, 615-236-9960, 615-236-9960. Contours, all you've got to lose is inches.
Looks like there's an accident now on 24, the westbound side in Joelton. This is on 24 westbound at Whites Creek Pike. Watch out for it. At the airport, Murfreesboro Pike at McGavick Pike, police are on the scene of another accident this morning. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.637 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. Hope you are doing well. Want to check in with Daniel Flesch, foreign policy analyst with the Heritage Foundation, and our guest. And Daniel, you've been keeping us up to speed on everything going on in Israel. J.D. Vance, apparently, from what I can tell, is in the office of Benjamin Netanyahu right now. And so the vice president, along with others from the administration in Israel, as you and I have spoken about before, we had that skirmish between Hamas and Israel. Hamas attacking some IDF troops. And so Israel, of course, responding in kind. A lot of people saying, oh, the deal is in peril. What do you say?
Well, good morning to you, Dan, and thanks for having me back on. They're both right and wrong at the same time. We have a situation developing where you have kind of a paradoxical situation of the war is continuing to an extent, but also the ceasefire is holding. What I mean by that is, per the terms of the ceasefire, Israel withdrew to what's called the yellow line, an area where it controls about 53% of Gaza Strip. Within that area, the IDF has obviously security control, and so there is stability, and Gazans are able to start to kind of pick up their lives and return to their daily business. On the other side, Hamas is in control. They are yet to release about 13 deceased hostages that were required to release as a terms of phase 1 of the agreement, and they are conducting summary executions of resistance groups around the area they control. So you have the situation where there's stability in the IDF-controlled area, there's not in a Hamas-controlled area, and with Vice President Vance in the region to administer President Trump's message that Hamas will be destroyed either by the IDF or perhaps an international force comprised of Arab and other countries, that's being put together, and that's what he's there to do, to try to see how you can transition to a civil military operations in the Strip. So, like I said, you do have the ceasefire holding, but you also still have active conflict going on.
Daniel, it's really interesting. I don't know where you are, but every other sentence, it sounds like you go off into, some sort of stratosphere, and then you come back. So I don't know if you can walk outside, get near a window, whatever. But I think I got the gist of what you said. So when it comes to this, basically the vacuum that is happening inside Gaza right now, the power vacuum, Israel, of course, has pulled back, and Hamas has been summarily executing the folks that they consider their rivals. Is there any indication, not that it really matters, but is there any indication that the people that Hamas have been executing, are they really people that have been cooperating or had been cooperating with Israel? Again, not that it matters, but or are they just finding people they don't like and taking them out?
Right, and apologies, I moved to an area, hopefully a clearer connection. It's mainly the latter, in that there are not so much people who have been cooperating with Israel. Those individuals are very few and far between in Gaza for the last 2 years, but it's rather other clans. And Gaza, like most of the Arab world, is societies built on tribal connections. So you have other tribes that even predate the creation of Hamas back in 1988, who have their own individual power bases and security operations inside Gaza, and they are vying for control. Not so much because they want to replace Hamas, but they want to defeat Hamas, because they know, unlike most people in the West, they know that a Hamas in Gaza is no future for Gaza or the Palestinian people there. So this is not so much, they're calling it retribution against those who've been helping Israel, but the reality is more like they're trying to stifle any sort of dissent or challenges to their own power.
Let me ask you, it sounds great, Daniel. Connection is perfect. So do you think this deal is going to be able to last long term? How will Israel or some of these other nations, because Donald Trump posted yesterday that he's got all of these Middle Eastern nations that are ready to go in there and basically take care of Hamas. And then Donald Trump also posting, and Israel will go back in there in a moment's notice. How easy would it be to eradicate Hamas?
Difficult. Still possible, but I tell people, cross your fingers, but do not hold your breath. The only organization or force capable of really defeating Hamas, capable with the will to do so, is the Israel Defense Forces. Now, you can cobble together an international force of other Arab countries, but are you going to have Jordanian soldiers going after Hamas into tunnels? Or what if you have a Hamas fighter who's starting to interdict aid supplies or threaten Palestinian people? Are you going to have a Saudi or a Turkish soldier engage that Hamas operative? The answer is likely no. So there might be the capability to defeat Hamas, but there's certainly not the political will to do so. So that's why I say the paradox at the beginning is you have a ceasefire holding to some extent, but also this conflict is is continuing, and the conflict shall continue in the long term if Hamas does not disarm and is still a part of some sort of governing structure going forward. So the president has intimated that there are Arab countries who want to be involved in the Hamas right now controlled side of Gaza to provide relief. You already have the Turks providing water and some food there as well. So this is going to be a long process. Unclear exactly how we get from A to Z, but they're starting to put the A to B to C steps together.
One of the things that President Trump said, Daniel Flesch, by the way, joining us on Super Talk 99.7 for an update on J.D. Vance, who is right now in Israel meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu on the ceasefire. One of the things that was part of President Trump's 21-point solution was that there would be no rebuilding and no aid or anything in Gaza-controlled territories. So as of right now, the 22nd of October at 6:45 Central Time, how much territory has Hamas given up?
So the IDF controls about 53%. So that means Hamas has about 47% of Gaza. And Israel has been establishing, it's called the Yellow Line. That's just the name they assigned to it. They're actually establishing markers throughout the Yellow Line, throughout Gaza, for Gazans to know this is the Israeli side of the controlled territory. Now, when Hamas actually disarms, or if they disarm, again, I'm not holding my breath, Israel has agreed per the 20-point plan to pull back even further towards the Israeli territory, but still maintain some percentage of Gaza, really as a demilitarized zone. And that's right now what the Yellow Line is offering. So, and it's really at that phase that you're supposed to have reconstruction begin. Again, we are still probably weeks, if not months, away from that. In addition to the vice president being in country, you had Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff there. They've just established with Israel a civil military affairs building, essentially a task force in southern Israel to try to start administer parts of the president's plan. But right now, the main question is, how do you get Hamas to disarm? And for Israel, how do you get Hamas to return the 13 deceased hostages that were promised?
And also, and I'm going to ask you this coming up, Daniel Flesch joining us. So then how would Israel actually confirm that Hamas has dropped the weapons? And so we'll talk about that and a whole lot more. Got to check the roads very quickly on WTN. Today, sunny, a little breezy as well, a high of 66, feeling like 65. All right, so let me ask you, Daniel Flesch again joining us with the Heritage Foundation foreign policy analyst. So how will Israel actually be able to confirm that Hamas has turned in their weapons?
The intent is not for Israel to be the confirming party for that. The intent is, per the president's 20-point plan, this international stabilization force will report to the Board of Peace, of which the president is the chairperson of, and it's comprised of numerous European and Arab countries, that international stabilization force will be put together, will be inserted into the Hamas-controlled parts of Gaza, and they will enforce the disarmament and make sure Hamas does not play a part going forward. Again, it's hard for me to see that actually coming to fruition, and that's why I say cross your fingers but don't hold your breath.
Yeah, I mean, you can't see me right now, but I'm kind of laughing because I don't know how. I mean, obviously you cannot trust Hamas, but what the president can do, and he has done, is he was able to do what he did with Iran, take out some of their nuclear capability, put the sanctions on so that they're not really able to fund Hamas or Hezbollah, et cetera, and go in there and do everything you can do to make life as hard as possible for Hamas and get this coalition of nations that would support President Trump and Israel in hoping for, a model for lasting peace, as J.D. Vance has said. And so it seems to me like President Trump has gotten this far, especially getting the hostages released. I don't think any president has gotten this far, have they?
Certainly not. I mean, what the president has done, going back to his first administration with the Abraham Accords, is think literally outside the box for how to achieve. People use the word peace in the Middle East. Let's not be so ridiculous to think there will be peace in the Middle East, probably in our lifetimes, but rather, how do you achieve as the moniker goes for the Abraham Accords, normalization or stability. How do you realize that there are aligned interests and aligned threats between Israel and some of the Arab countries, that Israel is not a problem in the region, but it's actually a solution? And one comment more about the long-term vision for what's kind of taking shape in Gaza, whereas the president's plan, again, is thinking outside the box. What you're seeing established, essentially, is an East Berlin, West Berlin type situation following World War II, where in the Israeli-controlled part of the Gaza Strip, you're going to have stability, security. You'll have eventually Palestinians returning to their normal lives. You will have reconstruction and rebuilding. And in the Hamas-controlled part of the Gaza Strip, you're going to have continued chaos in a failed state. So you'll have a litmus test for what stability can look like or what Hamas-controlled tyranny can look like. And eventually Palestinians in Gaza could probably vote with their feet. Now, granted, most of the population is under the Hamas control. There's a lot more challenges there. But because I don't expect Hamas to disarm, because they've said they won't disarm, and if they do disarm, that will be the end of Hamas for a variety of reasons, and obviously that's not in their interest, then I expect to see this yellow line be a new demarcation point between two Gazas, one controlled, at least temporarily right now, by the Israeli Defense Forces, allowing Palestinians to return to their lives and reconstruction to begin. And on the Hamas-controlled side, you'll still have this internal civil war. You will not have significant levels of reconstruction, and you'll still have that part of Gaza remain a threat, which will mean that Israel still needs to maintain its presence in Gaza going forward.
You've got the president and other leaders who are going to be in charge of sort of enforcing the peace, if you will, in Gaza. And, of course, you have the IDF and Israel and everything they've done. But let me ask you this, because people seem to have everybody's got a different opinion on the people of Gaza and where they stand with Hamas. Are they supporters of Hamas? Are they afraid to speak out against Hamas because they have this habit of executing the people that they consider enemies? The people in Gaza, and I know that there's millions of them, but where do they stand with Hamas? Do they support them or not?
The short answer is yes. And however, it's not so much that they support Hamas, although polls before October 7th, Hamas had an 80 or 85% approval or support rating. That's dipped certainly in the last 2 years, but it's still a sizable percentage of Gazans support Hamas. But you still have this fighting because other, as I said earlier, tribes and clans are trying to remove Hamas from power. It's not obviously out of love for Israel, but maybe a dislike for Hamas because they want a different future for Palestinians in Gaza, but not so much to make peace or security or stability with Israel. And this is also a longer-term issue in that the idea of denazification or really de-Hamasification of the Gaza Strip is a must-do if the Palestinians want to have a future, because you have a population, as we saw from Hamas's own GoPro cameras on October 7th, and as survivor hostage testimony has attested to, that this population is highly radicalized against Israel and the Jewish people. So even if you do have Hamas disarmed, you do have a new governing structure going forward. The fact is you have generations of people who have been brought up on education materials provided by the United Nations, UNRWA in particular, this refugee agency for the Palestinians, to hate and want to kill Jews, Israelis obviously specifically. Yep. So it's not so much a hate for Hamas or love for Hamas, it's still a hatred for Israel.
All right, I've got like 45 seconds left. Story earlier at Daily Mail, a couple of other places as well, saying that Hamas was getting ready to have a major attack on their own people there in Gaza. And word is they were going to seriously, without a doubt, break the peace accord. And so I don't know if you've heard of anything, but if they were going to attack their own people, and it sounded like these were going to be people, outside of their military or political enemies. I mean, what do you think they might be planning if that's true?
So again, this is more of the same. If over the summer you had an article in the Wall Street Journal, which one of these clans talked about how we have stabilization opportunities outside of Hamas in Gaza. So for Hamas to then go against and attack its own people, it is trying to assert its own power in this vacuum, in this kind of no man's land of time that has been created after the ceasefire and before some sort of international stabilization force is created. So you're going to have this for some time, and this is why Israel also is conducting operations still against Hamas, because Hamas is sometimes in the attempt to attack other Gazans, it is killing or attacking IDF soldiers. The IDF is getting caught in the middle. So that's why I say you had the ceasefire holding in a limited fashion, but the war and conflict is still continuing.
All right, Daniel, always great to have you on. Appreciate that insight. Daniel Flesch, expert, a foreign policy expert with the Heritage Foundation. It is 6:52 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. WTN. I don't know, Joan, fingers crossed with Israel.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're able to, I don't know, and enforce not Israel, but the peace group that Trump is heading up. This is going to be tough because you've got an entire people where for generations they've been taught to hate and to kill Jews, and you can't just turn that around on a dime. So
Right.
This is going to be a really, really long-term situation. Anyway, 6:53 now. Joan, what's coming up?
Remember NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte? What did he call President Trump? Daddy? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so he's coming back to the White House today. We'll tell you why. It's coming up here.
Is he going to bring Trump a belated Father's Day card?
Not sure. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, so we'll tell you what's going on there at the White House today. Coming up at 7 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Think of Joan, 6:53 on Super Talk 99.7. Dan Mandis here. For my friends at Stoltz Co., this is a great Tennessee company. They continue to grow and expand. Stoltz Co., they build pole barns, and that these pole barns, they can serve as a garage, an event space, an equestrian building. You can even live in them. They're called barn dominiums. Stoltz Co., right now, these barn dominiums are new and improved. They're offering you turnkey options at Stoltz Co. Now, that means that they handle the design, the construction, and the amazing finishing touches. You turn the key and you are home with Stoltz Co. Right now, by the way, they do also offer storm shelters to keep you and your family safe. Your new pole barn from Stoltz Co. can be used for anything. So if you have some land that needs a building for whatever you want, call Stoltz Co. Tell them Dan told you to reach out. 615-622-5992. 615-622-5992. Find them on Instagram and Facebook as well to see examples of their incredible work around Middle Tennessee. StoltzCo.com. That's StoltzCo.com. All right, so Aaron sent this to me. You know, Joan, there's a whole bunch of car break-ins happening in Hermitage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a rash of car break-ins in a Hermitage neighborhood. Residents say that it's been happening more and more often. Now, you know that this is where you got a whole bunch of homeless folks, right? This is where they had the homeless encampments.
Yes.
But I'm sorry, there's one quote. This is not funny. I'm not laughing, except I am laughing at one quote by one Metro Council member.
Oh, boy.
It is funny. Car break-ins, not funny, but what Aaron Evans has to say about this is, I'm going to tell you what that is coming up next. It is Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. Now 7 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. There's a crash this morning in the Hermitage. It's on 40 westbound, the on-ramp from Central Pike. That's exit 221A. The on-ramp there partially blocked off by police. In the news, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte arriving in D.C. for a visit with President Trump today. The Russia-Ukraine conflict is tops on their agenda. Here's CNN's Amy Kiley.
The trip comes as Trump appears to be backing off plans to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in the near future.
I don't want to have a wasted meeting. I don't want to have a waste of time, so I'll see what happens.
The idea for such a bilateral talk stems from Trump and Putin's phone call last Thursday. That's the day before Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky came to the White House. He says Trump turned down his request for Tomahawk missiles capable of striking Moscow.
Now, high-level political and military meetings are taking place in London on Friday over support for Ukraine's war efforts. Locally, the Sumner County School Board heard from residents last night on a proposal to change Christmas break to winter break. That idea didn't go over well.
None of you would ever have considered making this accommodation necessary of Hanukkah, Diwali, Ramadan. You wouldn't consider asking them to back down from their religious holiday and take it off because it wasn't inclusive. I want you to consider that.
It is honoring Christ, and that you can call it whatever you want to in your own personal house, but it's always going to be Christmas party.
School board member Shelley Young Tucker, however, disagrees. She says, quote, when we use that word, meaning Christmas, it can make families feel invisible. The school board voted to stick with Christmas break. That'll impact the calendar for next year. Metro Council voted yesterday to pass a second reading of an ordinance that allows residents to decorate their homes for the holidays. Councilman Jordan Huffman says his proposal comes after last holiday season when some residents were hearing from the city because a neighbor complained.
It's really about protecting everybody's right to celebrate however they want, whatever holiday they want, safely and proudly without having to fear that the government's going to show up and give them a citation.
The ordinance allows residents to go big if they want, but not to block sidewalks or roadways. Now, if it does pass on a third reading, that ordinance will take effect in time for Christmas this season. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. We're looking at stock futures in the minus column right now. Dow futures down 21. The NASDAQ futures are minus 65 right now. S&P futures down 2 points. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Police still working that scene at the Hermitage this morning. 40 westbound on-ramp from Central Pike. The on-ramp partially blocked off by the accident. Antioch, Harding Place, west of Antioch Pike. Watch for an accident there, too. And then just one more in South Nashville on Foster Avenue at Glenrose Avenue. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.706 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. Okay. So this is the story from WKRN. A rash of car break-ins in a Hermitage neighborhood. Residents say it's been happening more and more often. Now, this is, again, where that homeless encampment was in Hermitage. And it took forever for the fine folks of Nashville, Davidson County, to get that thing out of there. That thing was an eyesore. I would drive by it every single day. You couldn't go to the Kroger over there without, getting yelled at by some half-naked homeless person. Happened to me a couple of different times. So now we've got a whole bunch of car break-ins. In the videos, they say, you can see a person in a hooded sweatshirt checking for unlocked car doors in Hermitage early Tuesday morning. Now, here's a question. And some people might get mad at me, but is it a break-in? If you're dumb enough to leave your car door unlocked, is that a break-in? I mean, Sam, of course, knows the law. Parents are attorneys.
You don't belong in that car? Yeah, you're breaking in.
Okay, but you're not breaking into anything. You're literally opening the car door because I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm sort of being contrarian.
Yeah.
Lock your car doors, people. It's what you got to do. You know how many guns are stolen out of vehicles here in Nashville, here in Tennessee? When people leave their guns in their car and they leave the car unlocked? Come on, man. Not only dangerous, but guns are expensive.
Right.
Anyway. Brittany McCann, who she's been on this show many times. She was the one who, and on the station many times, she was one of the driving forces to get that homeless encampment out of Hermitage. And she is quoted as saying, just leave us alone. Find a hobby, talking about these breaker-inners. Find a hobby. Stop making other people's lives harder. She is absolutely right. A neighbor found her purse and most of the things inside in their yard. This has been going on, and I drive through here like every day. The Highlands of Tulip Grove. City leaders and police are looking into it. They say that a deterrent is to leave porch lights on, and getting to know your neighbor helps. So this is the quote, the kind of just, I find it funny. Now, this story itself is not funny. Metro Council member Aaron Evans has a message for thieves. We're happy as local officials to help connect them to services like finding a job. These people don't want a job. And I love what Aaron is saying. And I don't know if Aaron's a guy or a girl, whatever, but I like what Aaron Evans is saying. But they don't want a job. I mean, these folks, whether it is the city of Nashville, Davidson County, the state of Tennessee, but if they're running around and they're breaking into cars, they don't want a job. They're living off of the state services. They're living off of the city or the county services. They're getting all of those things. And this is what happens. I told the story that one time where, and this was in Hermitage. This is right in this area. There's a big old Walmart over there right off Saundersville, I think. Saundersville and 70. Big old Walmart right there. And so there's a dude. It's got a sign. It's like, we'll work for food or whatever it is. Right behind him in big letters, Walmart is hiring. So I wanted to, go get an application for him and give him the application and say, look, Walmart is hiring. Turn around. You can get a job at Walmart.
I feel that way all the time when I see
Don't you feel that
people,
way, Joan?
Yeah. I'm honestly, if you've gotten, you never see a car, you never see a bike around them, right? So they're always, the panhandlers are always on foot.
Well, they sometimes, Joan, they'll have a dog.
Yeah, or a kid. I think I told that story.
Yes.
But if you've gotten that far without a car or a bike, you can walk the extra 25 feet to the store right there.
That's exactly right. And if you don't have a computer, because everything is now, I guess when you look for a job, you do everything online. They have computers at Walmart where you can fill it out online, right there in Walmart.
Yeah.
And, the people that you see doing this, odds are, the ones that I've seen, they can stock shelves. They can go get the carts out in the parking lot. Yep. I mean, those are not difficult. I've done all of those things. I did it when I was 16.
Yep.
I think I still hold the record for the amount of carts grabbed and taken from the parking lot into the store. You see these? I was at, I think I was at Walmart. I can't remember where I was with Amy. But, these cart getters, we used to call them cart boys. I used to be a cart boy. So I'd go and I'd get these carts from the parking lot and I'd bring them in. So these days they have like a rope so that they can keep them all together as they're coming down towards the store. Because you got like 20, 25, or 30,
Yeah.
And they're all sort of, jammed together and stuff. And so these guys now have ropes to keep them all together. When I was a cart boy, I didn't have a rope. I had to maneuver just right. And I had to take into account, like the slope of the parking lot so that I didn't have an escaped cart that would end up hitting a car. And there was one day, Joan, I kid you not, it was around the holidays. I was like 17 years old. And I got what had to be 30 to 35 to 40 carts. And I am just taking into account like the slope of the parking lot. I've got a car over here. The wind is blowing, 5 knots to the east. And I was able to get all of these carts. And here's the funny thing. I got them all in. The other cart boys are looking at me like I just accomplished something amazing. And I'm going to tell you, Joan, I was proud of myself for that.
Did you get the shopping cart, Marconi?
No, I got in trouble.
Oh.
No, that's one of the first times I ever learned. No good deed goes unpunished.
That's right.
Because my manager was waiting there, and he said that it was.
Man.
He said it was dangerous what I had done, and I could have lost control of one of those carts, Joan, and it would have, maybe run over a small child or maybe hit a car.
Oh.
I got in trouble for that. But you know what? Once the manager left, I got some high fives from the other cart boys.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like what Metro Council member Aaron Evans says about helping them find a job. They don't want a job.
They don't.
I think that Aaron, good old Aaron there, may have, I don't know, do you think she may have been facetious when he said, like, finding a job?
Time.
Like,
Yeah.
we're happy to help them connect to find a job.
Absolutely, she was being facetious.
Is it a she, Aaron Evans?
Is it ERIN?
Oh, yes. That would be
So it
indicative
would
of a
be- right.
female.
I
Okay.
think so.
Metro Council member Aaron Evans. So there you go. And you know what? Here's the thing, is that I know that everybody's got their journey in life. But when there's so many jobs to be had at like a Walmart or a Target or, I don't know, a Kroger, Walmart, whatever, go out and find a job. Don't break into people's homes or cars or whatever it is. Anyway, it is. So that's what's going on.
I delivered
in
newspapers.
Hermitage. Were you a newspaper person?
I was.
You delivered newspapers?
Mm-hmm.
So you had to get the newspapers. Did you have to like put them all in order and everything?
No, so I did the evening bulletin for the Philadelphia Evening Bulletin. In our little shore, I grew up in a little shore town in New Jersey. And so we would go to one of my friends, his mom was like the drop-off point. You go there and you collect all your papers. And, you had your route that you had to stick to.
You had a paper route.
I did. And then So I lived right into the Garden State Parkway is what runs up and down the state, right? So we were at the exit where you would get off to go to the beach. So on Saturday mornings, we would go and buy a whole bunch of newspapers, for 25 cents a piece, and we'd sell them for $1 a piece to everybody who's sitting in the cars waiting to get to the beach. Yeah.
I love it. That's very cool.
Well, capitalism.
That's capitalism at its best.
Yeah.
Joe Jones, paper boy, says
Girl.
$22.85.
I was a girl. I was always a girl.
By the way, 35.4. Are you sure? 3514 says, hey, Joan, what was the outcome last night of the Sumner County School District vote on Christmas winter vacation? We spoke about that earlier.
It's
Great
Christmas.
local issue.
Mm-hmm.
And?
It's Christmas. It's staying Christmas break.
There you go.
Always has been Christmas break.
Mm-hmm.
It's staying that way. And in the newscast a couple of times, I've run pieces of people who approached the mic and said, look, knock it off. You wouldn't ask this of Jewish people. You wouldn't ask this of people who practice Islam. You are asking it of Christians only. Knock it off.
I'm being cart boy shamed now on the super text line.
Uh-oh.
99.99 says, well, Dan, I pushed 54 carts uphill at Walmart, which was the record for 2 days until my best friend pushed 58. It's the Lowe's parking lot on Nolensville Road when it was a Walmart. You know what I think we need to do? We need to have like a cart challenge and see if I can still bring 54 carts down a sloped parking lot.
I'm going to bet the under on that one.
You going to bet the under on that one? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I've lost my cart getting touch.
Keith also said, no wonder Amy married Dan.
Because I can push carts?
Because you're great with the carts. Yeah.
Well, Dan, you should know it's not the size of your cart stack, it's how effectively you can use it.
Is that what you're going to bring to the table, RJ?
Bam!
Is that what you're going to bring to the table? Love it. No, and by the way, Amy and I got in a fight one time. She calls them buggies.
Yeah, I find that to be the funniest thing I've heard in the South since we moved here.
No, honey, it's a cart. No, it's a buggy. No, it's a cart. No, it's a buggy. And we did that for like an hour. Anyway. Nope, it's not that time. It's time to do traffic. Right? We haven't. Oh, there you go. Traffic. As far as your weather goes, mostly sunny, a little breezy today, a high of 66. Getting down to 44 tonight. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News. 6794 says, what happened to Wednesdays with Wilson? I don't know. Brian kind of blew us off this morning. It's a little early. The man has been traveling. But you're going to get all the Wilson you need the next couple of days because I am taking the next couple of days off. I will be doing Red Eye Radio, but Amy and I had some appointments that we had to deal with, and so it just seemed like a good time to take a couple of days off. Plus, last year I figured out, Joan, that I left a week's worth of vacation on the table, and I do that every single year.
I don't know why.
I leave vacation on the table. So this year, my goal is to take every single second of vacation time that I have coming to me. And,
boy,
Joan, if I start, coughing maybe about December 29th or 30th.
Oh, yeah.
You know that I've got some sick time coming, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, people are saying that you don't have to be sober to panhandle. So that's, people are now, you know what I've noticed, 30 plus years in talk radio? If there's one topic that is going to get people going, it is the panhandlers.
Oh, yeah.
It is like, talk radio gold, right? You always know you can get people going. Pit bull talk, right?
Oh, yeah.
Pit bull talk. Panhandler talk. And I'm trying to think of what is the other one. Because, there's several that'll just get the phone. Yeah, just absolutely trigger the audience. Anyway, whatever. People are saying, no, Dan, it's a buggy in the South. What do you say? RJ, you from here? Are you from here, RJ?
I'm from the Midwest. We say cart.
All right, you say cart. And Sam, you're from here. What do you say?
That the wonderful Miss Amy is right. It's buggy.
Okay, very good. Well, don't tell her.
I knew he was a buggy guy.
Now it's time for the news tease. 7:20, Joan.
All right, coming up here. There was a ramming of a car at a barricade at the White House last night. We've got the latest on what was going on there. Also, yes, it's day 22 of the government shutdown. What's happening on Capitol Hill today? It's coming up here at 7:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$7:21, Nashville's Morning News on WTN Window Nation. October is here. You see, it's going to be like a low of 44 tonight. It's going to be cold. And so if you want to keep that warm air in and that cold air out, you've got to call my friends at Window Nation, because if you've got old, stuck, or cracked windows, yeah, that cold air is going to come in. And Window Nation has some of the best replacement windows on the market today. I should know. I've got 4. Including 2 down in my all-important basement studio. Now, right now, they've actually got a great deal going on for the month of October. You buy 2 windows, you are going to get 2 for free. By the way, there's no limit as to how many windows you can replace, and your total price includes 1-day installation. Make no payments for 2 years, no monthly payments, no down payment, and no interest until 2027. That is a big deal, of course, with the holidays coming up. Window Nation, don't forget that great deal. Call them, tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out, and you will get that great deal. 866-90-NATION is the phone number. 866-90-NATION. Don't forget, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, no limit. Make no payments for 2 years, no monthly payments, no down payment, and no interest until 2027. 866-90-NATION, windownation.com. $7:23 on WTN, the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Listen, if you have chronic back or neck pain, check out my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. $12 is going to get you started. You can get a comprehensive exam, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and that first treatment, all for only $12. So if you've got that chronic back or neck pain, like I did when I got to Nashville 12 or something years ago, I was riddled with this chronic back and neck pain. Went to the Wellness Institute of Nashville. They fixed me right up with their non-surgical spinal decompression. No surgery, no spinal injections, no painkillers. And so if you've got slipped or bulging spinal discs, herniated discs, spinal stenosis, numbness or weakness in the arms and legs, fingers and toes, they can help you with that non-surgical spinal decompression. And $12 is going to get you started. That gets you that comprehensive exam, x-rays, well-explained diagnosis, and yes, that first treatment as well. Always tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out, and $12 is going to get you started. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009. The website, painisbad.com. That's painisbad.com. 727 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So whenever, Joan, we do this cart boy contest.
Oh, yeah.
To see if I can, match some of the other smart Alex in the super text, people saying, well, when I was a kid, I was able to get 54, 55, 58. People are like, Dan's going to pull a hamstring. I can barely walk down the stairs these days. Anyway, but I do believe that would be fun. Hey, by the way, do you believe, Joan, do you believe that these No Kings protests, do you really believe that there were 7 million people nationwide?
I do not. So I heard you talking about the Data Republican lady.
That's right, with a small R.
Yes.
So
are you going to be talking about this?
I mean, I was going to do it now, if you don't mind. We got like 90 seconds.
All right.
The 7 million, this is on Twitter, X. She says, because this woman is like really, really smart with numbers. The 7 million figure is the Democrats' magic number because it crosses an imaginary 3.5% threshold used in political science. But she says that number doesn't hold up. In New York City, turnout was about 50,000. In Los Angeles, roughly 200,000. She says together, those two cities represent around 30 million people, which translates to maybe 3 million participants nationwide at most. And that is assuming rural and suburban areas turned out at the same rate as urban centers. Realistically, she says, there's no way the total comes close to 7 million. Do you know the other thing that I thought about that, just very quickly, is that when you look at the total population of like Los Angeles and all of those surrounding areas, and same with New York, 50,000 in LA or 50,000 in New York or 200,000 in LA, that's really not all that many. Number one. And number two, how many of them were paid?
Right.
So all of this narrative from the people in the mainstream media that, there's this huge groundswell of people out there protesting Donald Trump and No Kings and all that kind of stuff. I mean, not only was the whole thing based on something absolutely stupid, because clearly Donald Trump is not a king, never has been, doesn't want to be, but the fact that now they're, my estimation, and Data Republican small r also saying that they're lying about the numbers. The whole thing is based on a made-up narrative with the help of the mainstream media. 7:30 on WTN.
Good morning. Now, 7:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. At the Hermitage this morning, watch it on 40 westbound, the on-ramp from Central Pike. It's still blocked off this morning by an accident with police on the scene of it. In the news, a car rammed into a barricade of the White House overnight. Happened about 10:30. The Secret Service saying that the male driver was immediately arrested. That site is about 300 to 400 yards from President Trump's residence. It's day 22 of the government shutdown and still no end in sight. Republican Senator Katie Britt of Alabama saying she's not taking a paycheck while others are not getting paid.
Money is running out, and people will go without their SNAP benefits as soon as the end of this month or the very beginning of the next month. Look, these are real things. These are real consequences, and this is what I wish my Democrat colleagues would realize.
The Senate convenes at 9 o'clock this morning, but there is no set time for a vote on the clean CR from the Republicans. Meantime, President Trump hosted a luncheon with some of the members of Congress yesterday.
On day 21 of the government shutdown, the president inviting Senate Republican leaders to lunch in the Rose Garden.
You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction to the back.
Telling them all about the construction underway for his new $250 million ballroom.
That's music to my ears. I love that sound. Other people don't like it. I love it.
The president once said the project wouldn't interfere with the current structure of the White House, but cameras caught bulldozers razing parts of the East Wing.
ABC's Mary Bruce there. Tennessee just gained 2 new state parks. What had been a growing swath of land known as South Cumberland State Park has been divvied up into 3 distinct parks. One of them, Savage Gulf, was established in 2022. This week, the newly announced parks are Fiery Gizzard and Head of the Crow. State officials say breaking up that area ensures that each area receives dedicated management, resources, and conservation.
Fiery Gizzard?
Fiery Gizzard.
That sounds like a German punk band.
Yeah, I agree. But it is a beautiful area, so that's really cool.
So where is it again? Fiery Gizzard?
It was South Cumberland State Park, so to our south. You know, in the Cumberland, I guess it's Cumberland County area.
Do you know what a gizzard is?
Is it a? No, I maybe not.
Sam, do you know what a gizzard is? Sam is looking at me like, "Oh, you silly man."
It's part of a chicken.
What?
A gizzard is part of a chicken?
It's
and turkeys.
And turkeys, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you make the gravy with it.
Or you catch catfish with it.
Okay. And are they
Spoken like a true Southern boy?
Are they typically fiery? No. I guess if you're making
if you want them to taste good, yeah, you better season the crap out of them.
All right, very good. I wonder why they settled on Fiery Gizzard.
I'm looking it up right now. Fiery Gizzard.
Yeah.
State Park in Tennessee. Blah, blah, blah. No, doesn't say why.
Is this? Hey, Joan, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is this why people no longer want to work with me? Because Brian blew me off this morning.
I was wondering what happened.
And he sent me a text message and he said, "Hey, totally spaced on today's hit. Sorry." So that's fine.
Wow.
No problem. And now Chris, for the second day in a row, is going to miss the 8:35. So is it me? Is it me, Joan? Am I doing something wrong? Am I that toxic of an air personality that nobody wants to be on the air with me anymore?
Don't whine. Stop whining.
Okay.
I have the reason why it's named Fiery Gizzard if you want to hear.
What's that?
It's the name fiery or turbulent. It's the nature of the former creek and the American gizzard shad that live there.
Shad?
Shad is a fish.
S-H-A-D?
It's a bait fish.
Yeah.
Oh. How do you spell it?
S-H-A-D.
S-H-A-D? Oh,
yeah.
shad. Very good.
I just wanted to get you to stop whining.
No, it's all good, Joan.
Yeah,
it's all fine.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. You're going to get
so
yours.
easy to work with. You're so easy to work with.
Is that why nobody shows up for our segments? Anyway, go ahead. I'm just kidding. We love Chris. He overslept. It's all good. Go ahead, Joan. What do we got coming up with the news and all that, and the weather and all that?
Well, actually, we're going to go and do traffic in a couple of seconds here.
Okay,
if that's okay with you.
Absolutely. I don't want to be toxic to work with.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna read low T. Maybe that's my problem, Joan.
That's it. It's low T.
7:35 here on Super Talk 99.7. Guys, if you can feel your energy slipping away, you could have low testosterone. My friends at Synergen X and Low T Center, they can help you reach out and take a quick and simple T-test and get back on track with pharmaceutical-grade testosterone. Now, some of these other companies, they compound their testosterone so that you don't even know what you're getting or if it's even going to work. But Synergen X and Low T Center, they've helped guys out at work, the gym, and of course, love as well. Now, what can they do for you? Find out with a quick trip to the clinic at trtmvp.com. The best you is waiting. Guys who have taken TRT say it has completely changed their lives for the better, and you can too. You can get treated at home or at one of their many clinics around town. Now, you can choose, but when it comes to where to go,
the government shutdown,
feel like you again, choose the MVPs of TRT, Synergen X and Low T Center. Find them online, trtmvp.com.
couple of travel spots heading in from the north this morning. We've got one on 24 eastbound side before Whites Creek Pike, exit 35. That's in Jolton. And then as you're on 65 and you're headed toward that merge with 24, very slow this morning in that spot. You've also got an accident on 40 westbound at the Hermitage, still there at the on-ramp from Central Pike, and the on-ramp partially blocked off. And traveling 40 eastbound in Pegram, the past McCrory Lane, exit 192, the left lane is blocked off as well. Harding Place in Antioch, watch it west of Antioch Pike with an accident in that spot this morning. Also in Midtown, West End Avenue at Elliston Place, 25th Avenue, another scene of an accident. Very slow this morning, too, on 24, the westbound lanes in the Laverne area. Looks like it's really jammed up there, and also really jammed up as you're merging on 24 westbound with 40 heading into Nashville. Traffic every 10 minutes, every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Appreciate you listening. Super text line in Fuego, Joan.
Fuego?
On fire. Kind of like a fiery gizzard.
Oh, I see.
A lot of people got great takes. And it's so if you want to chime in, 615-737-9986. I love this story. It is so random, but it's so cool. Riley Gaines is now on the Sumner County Library Board. And this all kind of unfolded, I guess it was night before last. Riley Gaines is there, and they're choosing who should be on the board. And Riley Gaines, of course, you all know that she is from Tennessee, right here in Middle Tennessee in Sumner County. And so, and if you're new to the program and you're new to, news, Riley Gaines is a collegiate swimmer, and she became an outspoken critic of the trans movement in sports after being forced to compete against a man. She became incredibly outspoken on that issue and others important to conservatives. But I do find it interesting how she ended up on the library board in Sumner County. Again, she's from there. She's got a new baby, like 3 weeks old, apparently, and she's building her family. Can I tell you what I love about Riley Gaines? I mean, so many things. But here's somebody who, she's got a lot going on. And she is a commentator. I think she's probably got, blogs and podcasts and all that kind of stuff. And she chooses to remain here in Middle Tennessee. She chooses to remain in her hometown of Sumner County. And I love that. Now, there's been a battle going on within the Sumner County Library Board over trans promoting books in the library. And Chris Hand has been all over this story. There was this discussion of reducing the board from 9 to 7, leaving 2 positions not filled. That would essentially mean that the leftists on the board would have been in charge because those 2 seats were filled with more conservatives. And so the ideological shift would have been left-leaning for the board, and that would have meant that all of those trans books would stay. Now, the vote came in that they would not only leave the board at 9, not 7, but that Riley Gaines would fill one of the positions. Now, I want you to think about this. She's been on, Fox News as a contributor. She is part of Turning Point. She flies around the country giving speeches, incredible activist, an amazing college athlete, all of these things. And now Riley Gaines is part of the Sumner County Library Board. So she was on with Chris yesterday when all of this came up.
I am so excited about this. Of all of the different accolades and titles outside of mom now being the best, our little daughter is 3 weeks old now. Truthfully, I'm most excited about this new appointment to the library board. I have done so much work over the past few years. I think at the national level, I would say. And it's stemmed down, of course, and we've seen lots of movement from the states following, especially the leadership of President Trump. But what I have seen firsthand to be true is that grassroots efforts and what is happening locally and in your own community matters far more than what's going on in Washington, D.C. So to be a part of this effort, my hometown, where I'm born and raised, where I hope to continue to raise our little daughter and hopefully many more kids to come, just very, very excited about this opportunity.
So in Sumner County, they've been debating banning these trans-related books, but, you know, it's failed because apparently, and this is what the stories show, that there is a worry about lawsuits and what they call a lack of legal guidance from the county attorney. Whatever. That's what happened, fine. But the woman who was removed from the board, a woman named Joanna Daniels, and Chris has interviewed her, they say was pushing for the ban, the removal of these trans-related books. And she was essentially removed from the library because she was maybe a little too loud in her efforts. I don't know, but that's what the word is. That's part of what Chris said yesterday. So Riley spoke about how great Joanna Daniels was and is in this battle. But now Riley is, frankly, she's getting ready to continue down that road of getting these trans-related books banned. And this is, by the way, not unique to Sumner County. You know that this has been going on all across the country.
Some of these books coming out of the Sumner County libraries have been highlighted and brought to the attention of the board members, to which they've done nothing about it. And not for lack of trying on the part of the Republicans, the real Republicans, but again, you have lots of rhinos and Democrats who are actively working against this and working against concerned citizens and concerned parents. So that here in Sumner County is what we're focused on, passing this policy to prevent this garbage and this filth from being in our libraries and kids having access to it. Again, following state law, which is crazy that we have to say that. The law is already in place, but it's up to us, again, even concerned parents, concerned citizens, bringing this to our attention so we can make sure we're holding everyone accountable.
So I love what she's doing, and I applaud them for doing so. But, here's the thing, though. And yes, I said this last night on Red Eye Radio as well. I don't mean to be a Danny Downer, but I think the bigger danger as far as our kids go is obviously online. I mean, this is a great start, but I don't think a lot of kids are going to libraries to check out books on being transgender. Now, are they in there somewhere and a kid could either accidentally discover it or he hears, hey, you might want to check out this book and so forth? I get that. But I think that, the real danger and the grooming is being done on the socials. And you heard Riley, and she is so right, where she says it's up to us. And those four words, it's up to us. 5 if you want to say it is, but whatever. As parents, you need to know what your kids are doing online. And oftentimes, and do you know how many times I've spoken to parents who have actually said, I thought I knew what my kid was doing online. I thought I knew what they were going through, what they were checking out, the influencers that they were following, the hashtags that they were interested in on TikTok and Instagram. And it turns out they had no idea what was going on. And their kid either does something abhorrent to themselves, or all of a sudden, your son comes home and says, I think I want to wear a dress, right? So it's really up to the parents. Because I don't think you can ban these trans influencers from the socials. So, and here's the other thing. I've never been a fan, and I've talked about this before, I've never been a fan of trying to, put your kids in like this cultural cocoon. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like you try to ban everything that they could possibly be confronted with. And when you do that, then they have really no idea what's out there. And so once they go off to college or once they accidentally discover this stuff through friends or online, they don't know how to cope with it. I think for me, my 2 cents, and again, I applaud what they're trying to do there in Sumner County and in libraries all across the country. But you've got to make sure that your kids actually know what is out there, that they have awareness of what is out there, and that you folks have conversations with your kids. I used to drive my kids crazy, Joan. You know what I used to do?
What'd you do?
They'd be like, because I'm a talk show host. And so I would see a story, and I would print it out, and I'd like bring it home and sit the kids down, and I'd tell them about the story, and I'd tell them, about the story and put it in some parental context so that they know what to look out for. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's what you got to do, man.
My dad used to read the newspaper because that's what we used to do. And he would circle the stories that he would want me to read.
Did he really?
Yeah, he would say,
that is
you need
awesome.
to read this story. It's important. Yeah.
Do you remember which stories he would want you to read?
No, not really.
Obviously, those with a conservative bent.
Well, my parents were conservative.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay. And you're one of those kids who, you were raised conservative and you actually stuck with it.
I did.
As opposed to some kids who, if their parents are conservative, then, they go in the complete opposite direction and all of a sudden they've got purple hair and a weird thing in their nose.
Yeah,
right?
So 3 out of the 4 of us stayed conservative.
What happened to the other one?
Off the rails.
Really off the rails?
Yeah.
So what happens at Thanksgiving?
He lives in Florida and we really don't get to see him very much, but
okay.
It's a difficult, like when you wade into politics when you're talking on the phone, you realize you got to wade right back out again.
Listen, I don't wade into politics.
Good idea.
Unless I know, like if somebody engages with me in conversation, I don't bring up politics. And why would I? Who wants to talk about politics, at Thanksgiving?
Right.
Or any day, honestly. I mean, now, just for the record, I love talking about politics. I really do. But I don't want to ruin Thanksgiving or ruin a birthday party or ruin breakfast by bringing up politics and then somebody starts, arguing and so forth. And if somebody wants to bring up politics with me, I'm happy to engage. But I'm not going to be the first one to bring it up. But, yeah, you see that all the family ties, right? So Family Tie, Keaton, what was his name?
Michael Keaton?
No. Michael J. Fox played Alex P. Keaton.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox played Alex Keaton.
Yeah.
And his parents were liberal. I think they actually worked at like PBS or NPR or something.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he played a very conservative character. I used to love that show. And then Mallory, who played Mallory was the name. I forget whatever. Michael J. Fox's sister on Family Ties. She's now a very outspoken conservative, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she is very outspoken on the socials. I know that I'm going to go over to the super text line and people are going to be like, her name is... Sam, do you know what her name is? Mallory from Family Ties? Yeah, I know this
Was
is...
it Justine Bateman?
Thank you, Joan.
Yeah.
Justine Bateman.
She writes really funny, too, online.
She is hysterical.
Yeah, she does it through, like, the director's lens.
She does.
It's a very
Oh, you know what? I bet
funny.
you know what? I wonder if I could get her as an interview.
I bet you could.
I like her a lot. She's not so big, Joan, that she's going to ignore us like some do.
Right. You mean...
You want to name names,
like
Joan?
Brian?
Who just... Oh, like Brian.
Like Brian...
Like that guy, Brian Wilson?
Right.
No. He just overslept. It's all good.
Completely shrugged you off this morning?
It's okay. It's all right. Listen, he's going to have to get up early tomorrow. He's filling in for me tomorrow and Friday. Remember, I'm going to be on Red Eye tomorrow and Friday overnight. But Brian's going to handle the morning show. I've got some vacation time. I've got some appointments I've got to deal with. So Brian Wilson is going to do a great job, as he always does. Joan, what's coming up in the news?
What is happening in Mount Juliet? Did I say it right?
Atta girl.
What's happening in Mount Juliet? A couple of employees have lost their jobs there. We'll take a look at what's going on at 8 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 7:53 on Super Talk 99.7. It is spooky season, but don't be tricked. Let the home experts at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling treat your family right. We're not going to ghost you. Join the Beehive Club for free. Just carve a pumpkin of Buzz the Bee, post it on social media, and tag Busy Bee. That's all you got to do. Show off your carving skills and get rewarded. If you need HVAC service, upgrade your thermometer, your thermostat, and get a free dryer vent cleaning. Choose from our Honeywell Basic or Go Pro with Wi-Fi control. If you've got plumbing problems, we'll flush your water heater free with any plumbing repair. That is, of course, a treat for your pipes. Time for a new HVAC system. They've got a scary good deal at Busy Bee. A free 10-year parts and 5-year labor warranty. That is a $750 value, complete with any system install. Don't let your home be haunted. Call Busy Bee today, where service is sweet and the savings are scary good. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, busybeehvac.com. $7:55, Dan here, DT McCall's. Listen, this is a great Tennessee company. They've been around for a long time. Now, if you need indoor furniture, if you've got a room to fill, go to DT McCall's. That is what I do every time I need something for the home. The first thing I do is go to DT McCall's. I've bought a couple appliances from DT McCall's. I think a washer and a dryer set from DT McCall's, also a dishwasher as well. Love these folks at DT McCall's. If you need an appliance, if you need something that plugs in, they've got it. And at DT McCall's, they've always got great specials going on to save you money. All you've got to do is do what I do every time. Go to their website, dtmccalls.com. They've got specials, great specials. Great prices on all the best brands of appliances like washer and dryer sets, dishwashers, and a whole lot more. Same goes for indoor furniture. They've been at it for over 100 years with a focus on customer service. And by the way, with DT McCall's, if you buy it, they're going to deliver it for free and haul away the old stuff. 5 locations across Middle Tennessee: Carthage, Cookeville, Lebanon, Lafayette, and Franklin. Always online, dtmccalls.com. 7:59 on Nashville's Morning News. 1393 has a serious question, Joan.
Yeah, what's that?
Do you think homeschooling keeps your children or keeps children in a cultural cocoon? No, I think you're protecting your kids there. I mean, I get it.
Well, most people don't. I mean, it's not all done in the home. Like your group of homeschoolers engage with other homeschoolers who are like in the same program. You know, or you go here to do a sports activity together.
Yeah.
You're not in a cocoon.
It is a whole community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I asked Chris about that. I mean, he was telling me about that the other day. It is amazing what you can do with homeschooling these days. And it's interesting. You look at what's going on in the schools today, particularly in the inner city. Those people have the audacity to call homeschooled kids weird.
Yeah.
Now it is the other way around. Now the homeschooled kids are perfectly normal, and it's what's going on in the public schools that is not only weird, but an absolute travesty. It is 8 o'clock, Nashville's Morning News on WTN.
There's nothing more entitled than a female Springer Spaniel. Sorry. Anyway, it's the saddest thing, and to hear people like,
Good morning. It is now 8 o'clock, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The Senate takes another shot at voting to reopen the government today, but NBC's Ryan Noble says it really doesn't look good.
The government shutdown enters day 22, with President Trump showing no sign that he's in search of a deal. Hosting Senate Republicans at the White House. Trump encouraging them not to back down, suggesting he would consider meeting with Democratic leaders only after the shutdown ends.
I will only meet if they let the country open. They have to let the country open.
A message received on Capitol Hill.
At some point, the Democrats are going to have to say yes for an answer.
Republicans saying pass a short-term spending bill first, while Democrats are demanding a deal on health care now.
And just one note, too, there was a Democrat senator that stayed at the podium to talk all night long in the Senate about what he calls the danger of President Trump. A U.S. Marshal and an illegal alien with a criminal record were both shot and wounded during a traffic stop in L.A. yesterday.
DHS officials say agents used a standard pit maneuver to detain the suspect who had escaped custody in the past. They say this time, when the man rammed a federal vehicle trying to evade arrest, officers opened fire, hitting him in the elbow. A bullet ricocheting into the hand of the U.S. Marshal. Both men were hospitalized. The suspect, a TikToker known as Richard LA18, is an influencer known for capturing video of ICE operations in L.A., even recognized by the city of L.A. for his contributions to the community.
That's ABC's Matt Rivers there. In Mount Juliet, 2 city employees have been fired amid an investigation launched by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Here's News 2's Bob Mueller on that.
Mount Juliet confirmed they fired 2 employees in the city's IT department. That includes their IT director. The TBI confirms they're investigating at the request of the area district attorney.
Now, it's an ongoing investigation, and the city so far has no comment. Also in Mount Juliet, a license plate reader alerted on a stolen car last night. There were 3 teenagers inside that Hyundai Elantra that had been reported stolen October 15th. Now, when police caught up with them, those teens were parked outside the Academy Sports on Pleasant Grove Road. Inside the car, along with those teens, gun ammunition that they had just stolen from the store. 2 of those teens were linked to another stolen car that turned up in Mount Juliet. The teens are 2 15-year-olds and an 18-year-old, all of them from Nashville. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Well, stock futures have mostly turned positive here. We've got Dow futures up 20 now, the S&P futures gaining 6, but the NASDAQ futures, they're still in the red, down 32 points. That is the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Oh, the accidents now. We've got that accident in Jolton on 24, the eastbound lanes at Whites Creek Pike, exit 35. That's slowing traffic down. Also one in East Bank on 24 eastbound at Shelby Avenue, exit 49. Also Pegram on 40 eastbound past McCrory Lane, exit 192. That's an accident scene. And in Creve Hall on 65 southbound past Harding Place, exit 78. Now, you still do have quite a bit of delays on 24 westbound this morning. Looks like things are very slow on 65 northbound, all the way through the Cool Springs area, up into Oak Hill. It is very slow this morning, all the way into Nashville. And if you're traveling southbound 65, if you're traveling in that area where you're merges with 24, that is still very jammed up this morning as well. Traffic every 10 minutes, every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.807 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Welcome on in. Last hour of Nashville's Morning News for your Wednesday, October 22nd. Hope you folks are having a great day. By the way, Joan, good morning to the people on the YouTube chat.
Mm-hmm. Hi, everyone.
Except for one guy.
Who?
There is a dude on there who is just spamming the living daylights out of our YouTube chat.
Oh, there's always rude.
This is why we can't have nice things. and apparently, it's one of these people. You ever have like you try to like eat outside or whatever, and there's like a gnat that's always, like flying into your food and right in front of your. That's what this dude is like.
Yeah.
Sam was telling me he's got like 5 or 6 different profiles, and he just keeps, churning through the profiles and saying the most gosh awful things.
Every time I put him in timeout or remove him from the channel, he logs into another account. It's sad. It's pathetic.
Who has that much time?
Or a desire or the drive to want to be that kind of a horrible person.
Oh, you got a real. And so he apparently called me a pedophile?
Called you a pedophile.
Whoa.
And what did he call you?
A cuckold.
A what?
A cuckold.
Cuckold. Okay.
He's projecting on that one.
I don't know what that is.
I think it's a guy that likes seeing his lady with other women. I'm not.
Oh, God. Okay. Just stop.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oof.
Why do I ask these questions, Joan?
I don't know.
Why do I do this to myself all the time?
Not really sure.
Because you have to know what it means.
And why am I a pedo?
Because you voted for Trump, don't you know?
Okay. So who's going to clip that little thing that I just said? So Sam says that the guy says that I'm a pedo because I voted for Donald Trump. You know what the funny thing is I don't get mad anymore. I am so fascinated by these people that they've got the time to do this. And as Sam said, I'm not surprised at the shock, you're saying, at their desire to do this. I mean, you see what's been going on for the last, 2015, 2016, since Donald Trump rode down in that escalator, the left, they've become more and more and more and more demented. And that's what's going on.
Yeah.
The No Kings protest. They've got inflatables out there, and they're wearing dinosaur costumes, and some of these people are dressed up like fairies. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, Donald Trump is literally driving these people to insanity. And that's the kind of, this guy on the YouTube chat. And by the way, I do like the fact that the people in the YouTube chat, and I love those folks over there, you can either do one of two things. You can ignore those people, or you can, call them out and whatever. So, I mean, I really don't care. I think the people in the YouTube chat, they are so amazing. And I go in there and read some of the stuff that they do. They can well handle this dude. So it's all fine, well and good. I mean, whatever.
They just get annoyed when he spams. He breaks down one paragraph into multiple fragments of a sentence and fills up the chat so no one can have a conversation.
Yeah.
I see.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
One thing I will say is that for a guy who says no kings, like that's one of his favorite things to say, he really likes spamming so that he can get the #1 crown for top fan.
See, that's funny. When did they start giving out crowns for top fans? I don't even have a crown for WTN. Clearly, I need to up my game, Joan.
Clearly.
When I'm not here, do you have a crown?
I don't.
Or a tiara for you?
See, I don't sign in as myself on YouTube. I'm signed in as Ken.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So Ken gets the tiara.
He might.
Well, she has to clarify when you've got Ken Weaver's face on the chat bubble that it's not Ken Weaver, it's Joan Jones. And people are like, oh, that's...
Unless it is Ken Weaver.
Well, I always say, hey, this is Joan.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I let them know.
Yeah, one of the things the internet has done is it connects the crazies. There's somebody just said that on the super text line. The web connects the crazies. And yeah, I know I'm giving this guy the attention that he wants. I actually don't think that this person actually listens or watches. I don't think that he does. I think he pops in to cause chaos and trouble.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to do. And every time as Sam was saying, you block him, then he comes back with yet another profile.
It's like when a child has a poopy diaper and then you change it and then there's another poopy diaper, but that time it leaked on the kitchen floor and it's a mess to clean up.
You know what? I should have an alternate profile. My alternate profile should be Fiery Gizzard.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be funny?
It'd be hilarious. We need t-shirts.
Fiery Gizzard in the morning. WTN.
That's great.
We could like have a jingle.
I'm going to cut that and auto-tune it.
Joan, should we do a change the name of the show to Fiery Gizzard in the morning?
You would like to, Dan.
Oh, man, that would be
funny. Go
funny.
get some singers and get us some good bumper music.
Sure. That's right. All right, got to move on. It is 8:14, Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 615-737-9986, 615-737 WWTN. 8908 says, then I'm going to get to business. 8908 says, you are wrong, Dan. Trump is not driving them crazy. He is revealing their craziness. He is revealing their craziness. I don't know, Joan, which do you think it is? Do you think that Trump is just revealing the inner crazy in these people, or is he driving them to crazy?
I think some like weird portal opened up when President Trump came down the stairs, and he's driving them nuts.
Yeah, the one of the symptoms of Trump derangement syndrome is irrationality.
Yeah.
You tend to have this want to dye your hair purple, put things in your nose, in your face, and all that.
Yeah.
Although, I shouldn't say that, because on the super text line, a very nice woman sent me a picture of herself.
Yes.
And did you see that, Joan?
Yeah, well, you told me about it.
And she's got the purple hair or whatever, and it looked very nice. And she had a nose ring, that kind of a thing. And, she said something to the effect of, we're not all crazy, or a nose ring and purple hair doesn't make me crazy. I'm a conservative. I'm listening to you. Thank you. And she's absolutely right. So, Joan, don't let me say that anymore. Because purple hair and nose rings are not always, traits or indicative of a, crazed leftist, lunatic liberal. Just not these days. And that's part of why Donald Trump, I believe, is so popular. Oh, apparently this jackhole was doing the same thing on Matt's show yesterday. I wish there was a way to block not only his one profile. Can we block like his entire, what do they call it? IP address?
It would be nice if YouTube would grant us that feature, especially if they're going to remove our messages when they deem they go against community standards.
Well, you know what? I mean, community standards in the internet, let's all be honest here. So. No, doggone it. I am so out of it today. It's 8:15. Joan, what's happening on the roadways? Time to check traffic. Okay. We are just all shanking
Everything,
it.
yeah.
Everything. And you know what? I think that we blame Brian Wilson. We blame Brian Wilson because ever since Brian stood me up in the 7 o'clock hour, things have just gone to crap.
He went on that vacation last week, man, and he just said, no, hello, hello, hello for you.
That's exactly right. All right, we are day 22 of the government shutdown. And, you know, I appreciate what President Trump is saying when he says, you know what, I'm not going to meet with the Democrats. Why in the world should I meet with the Democrats? Because what they're doing is they're digging their own grave. And I like that the president is saying, I'm not going to meet with them until they vote to open the government, because guess what? There's nothing really to talk about. There's nothing to talk about if the government isn't open. I need some video. This is Donald Trump, what he said yesterday.
I want to just say from the beginning, our message has been very simple. We will not be extorted on this crazy plot of theirs.
Yep.
They've never done this before. Nobody has. You always vote for an extension. Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats need to vote for the clean, bipartisan CR and reopen our government.
Yep, that is the president yesterday. And one of the things that I find interesting is that the Democrats are digging their own grave. And I think the Republicans just let this go for as long as they can. Because honestly, let me ask you this question. Why? And I realize that, you know, people, federal employees are impacted by this. I realize that contractors are impacted by this and, you know, so on. But at the same time, you know what else that I would say is for the Republicans, why throw the Democrats a lifeline? That would be my comment. Why throw the Democrats a lifeline? Now, Caroline Leavitt was on Fox News last night with Jesse Waters, and this is what she had to say.
Continuing to work very hard to try to reopen the government, Jesse, and we are now on day 21 of the government shutdown.
22.
Democrats have voted 11 straight times against the Republican-led clean continuing resolution to keep the government open. And it's quite peculiar because they voted for 13 times in the past for this exact same type of funding bill. As the president very clearly stated in the Oval Office today, he will gladly meet with Democrats to talk about health care or whatever other issue that they want to talk about. And by the way, it's the Democrats who created the broken healthcare system in this country through Obamacare that has led to rising premium and costs. It's this president, President Trump, who is taking on big pharma, who is cutting deals with them, who is working with insurance companies across the board to bring down the cost of healthcare in this country. But he's not going to have those conversations until Democrats simply vote to reopen the government.
One of the things, and Caroline Leavitt is clearly right, but, you know, it goes right back to what I've been asking since the No Kings fiasco. I'll call it a fiasco on over the weekend. And that is, what solutions are the Democrats bringing to the table? The Democrats are not bringing any solutions to the table. All they know how to do is whine. All they know how to do is cry. All they know how to do is just try to cause chaos. And if that's what they bring to the table, listen, that's fine. That's fine. But while you're doing that, the American people are noticing, because as great of a job as Donald Trump is doing, we do still have some problems. And none of those problems are going to get fixed if all these Democrats are going to do is hijinks and shenanigans. So for me, if the Democrats want to keep this up, then they should go right on ahead, because people, in my opinion, will remember this heading into the midterm elections. 8:20, Joan's got the news coming up at 8:30. Joan, what you got?
Yeah, coming up here, Dan, Arizona's Attorney General is suing the U.S. House of Representatives. We'll tell you what that's all about here coming up at 8:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 8:20, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Why do I love the Wellness Institute of Nashville? Why am I so grateful to the Wellness Institute of Nashville? Because when I came to Nashville, about 12 years ago or so, I was riddled with pain. I had chronic back and neck pain, and I'm telling you, the pain would not go away. I walked into the Wellness Institute of Nashville, and I became a patient. I was a patient. I was a client before I started endorsing them. And with their non-surgical spinal decompression, they fixed me right up. No surgery, no spinal injections, and no painkillers. I met with Dr. Kevin Mitchell. We took my x-rays, and he told me exactly what was wrong with my back and with my neck, and he fixed it. And I got to tell you, that's why I'm such a big fan of the Wellness Institute of Nashville. They could do the same thing for you. So if you're driving in your car right now, you're heading into work, and you're sore, you've got that chronic pain, they can help you today. Give them a shot. I mean, listen, $12 is how you get started. $12 for a comprehensive exam, x-rays if you need them, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment. That is the current special going on at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Their state-of-the-art non-surgical spinal decompression therapy can help you. Again, no surgery, no spinal injections, and no painkillers. $12 is going to get you started. Comprehensive exam, x-rays if you need them, a well-explained diagnosis, and that first treatment. Tell them Dan told you to reach out. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, painisbad.com. That website, painisbad.com. 827, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Appreciate you being here. Scott Jennings, do you think, Joan, that the Republicans are handling I'm going to air quote this, the fallout from No Kings? Do you think that they are handling this appropriately, the Republicans? I think that they are. I think that Donald Trump sending out that video of, to the theme of Top Gun, a Danger Zone, and to, as Trump is flying a plane and dropping fecal matter on Harry Sisson and all of these other leftists, I think that's funny as all get out. And I have no problem with it because the only thing you can do in this instance is laugh at them. And so I have no problem with the way that Trump is handling this, and other Republicans and conservatives are handling this as well, is you laugh at this. Now, Scott Jennings was on CNN with Caitlin Collins, and this did come up, and this is part of what that conversation was all about. And I like what Scott Jennings said. Listen to this. This is a video, if I could. This is Scott Jennings.
Well, yeah, he was making a point. I mean, why shouldn't the president use a made-up video to respond to a rally that has a made-up reason? I mean, it's a non-existent reason. We don't have a monarchy in this country. We have a presidency won by Donald Trump, who won the popular vote, who won the Electoral College, who won all the swing states. We have a democracy. People voted, and they elected the president, and the only thing they're mad about is that he is lawfully executing the office of the presidency and enforcing laws that have been on the books for a long time. So he made up a video. They made up a reason to have a rally. And I think it was kind of funny, to be honest with you.
It was funny. That's the thing. It was funny. I've got no problem with what he did. And here's the thing. And I know this almost feels cliche at this moment. But anytime the left gets into a little hissy fit, you just say, well, okay, that's fine. You can be upset if you want. But you keep calling us Hitler. You keep calling us Nazis. You keep putting out there 8647. So are they really going to make a big deal about a little video that, Donald Trump puts out?
This is the era of Republicans saying, we don't care.
That's exactly right, Joan. Yeah.
We're done.
I think that conservatives and Republicans, I think they cowered for so long that their give a crap is run out. I mean, that's exactly right. And I love that. I do. You can only be called a Nazi so long before you just, don't give a crap. You can only, 8647. Okay, that's really clever. You know what I mean? It's not. And if that's going to be a rallying cry for the people on the left, okay, if that's what you want to do, you go right on ahead and proudly show your ignorance, because that's what it is. It's ignorance. And by the way, you and I spoke about this yesterday, Joan. Kenny Loggins is upset that Danger Zone, his song, was used in that video, and he came out and he asked the president or whatever, just don't use my song for political purposes. And I heard from some musicians on the Super Text line yesterday, and they gave Kenny Loggins perspective. And I respect it, actually. What Kenny Loggins does, when he writes these songs and these musicians, it is their work of art. They look at it, and it is true. That is a work of art. And so they don't want their work of art bastardized by politics left or right. But my question would be, okay, so if one of Kenny Loggins' songs was used by a Democrat to somehow vilify or target Republicans, would he have the same reaction? And I don't know. Maybe some liberal out there can test it and see if they can elicit the same response from Kenny Loggins, who again I like very much. It is 8:31 and Super Talk 99.7 WTN coming up. I do have that audio of Jen Psaki and the reprehensible thing that she said about not only J.D. Vance, but also his wife, Usha. That is all straight ahead on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Well, Arizona's Attorney General has sued the U.S. House of Representatives, accusing House Speaker Mike Johnson of refusing to seat Adelita Grijalva. She won a special election in Arizona in late September to take the congressional seat that her father had occupied before his death. The House has been on pause since the government shutdown began. Speaker Johnson says this is a made-up controversy.
I would say to Rep. Grijalva, if her Democrat colleagues and leadership have not informed her, you can't be serving your constituents right now. You have an office. She's hired 16 employees. They keep going by and knocking on the door and pretending it's locked. If it's locked, it's because Rep. Grijalva is choosing not to represent her constituents. She can be handling their calls, directing them appropriately, and doing lots of important work right now.
He also says that he's following the precedent that was set by Nancy Pelosi, who would not administer the oath of office for Republicans until lawmakers returned to Capitol Hill following periods of recess. Arizona's 2 senators have voted to keep the government closed through the last 11 votes. They are both Democrats. Murray County has broken ground on its first tornado siren. It comes after an EF3 tornado hit Columbia last year, claiming 1 person's life and injuring 12 others. After that, county leaders approved a bill that allowed for 7 new tornado sirens. They're meant for alerting people who are outdoors. The county recommends having a weather radio inside to get alerts for approaching tornadoes. In Paris, the Louvre Museum is open once again, the first time since Sunday's robbery. The museum's director goes before the France Senate Culture Committee today to answer questions about that heist, in which 4 people very quickly overcame security guards, broke displays, and took a significant amount of loot. Some have noted that the heist looks so organized that there must have been some inside help.
Totally inside help.
Yeah.
Totally inside help.
Yeah. And the guards, I mean, where were their weapons? Did they have any? Why didn't they use them? There's so many questions to this.
Oh, yeah. These jewels, I mean, they were worth, a lot. These were like Napoleon's jewels, right?
And Napoleon's wife's jewels. Yeah. Crazy stuff.
You know how tall Napoleon was? Wasn't he like notoriously short? That's where they get the whole Napoleon complex.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
5'4"? You're saying 5'4", Sam? That's how tall Napoleon was?
Sam, do you have a mouth?
With or without the hat? Because he had that hat too. I think the hat was compensating.
Well, apparently there's French and English units. So his height was 5'2.5" in French measurements, equal to about 5'6" in English imperial units, which led to confusion.
Wow.
So he's 5'6", which is taller than me and Joan.
By far. For me, by far.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Fake news, Joan. Anyway.
Hey, market numbers report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. We're starting off on the negative side of things this morning with the Dow Jones Industrials down 82, the NASDAQ falling 67. S&P is down 7 points this morning, and Netflix is starting off, 8% lower this morning after the company posted an earnings miss. And that, by the way, comes amidst that call by conservatives to drop the subscription service over its transgender-themed shows geared towards kids. Maybe it's having an effect. That is the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
8:35, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. Mark Spain Real Estate. Skip the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home quickly with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. No showings, no open houses, and no stress. Dan Mandis here. Indeed, I always recommend Mark Spain Real Estate here in Nashville to my friends and family because I can trust they are going to sell their homes hassle-free with a strong all-cash offer. As a matter of fact, with Mark Spain Real Estate, they sell more than 38 homes every single day, making them the most experienced real estate team in America. You can trust them to sell your home hassle-free, and yes, with the strongest cash offer in the industry. They are going to make you all the money they can with the least amount of hassle. They were ranked on the Inc. 5000 list of the fastest growing companies in the U.S. for now the 8th year in a row. They respond fast, and yes, they are one of the most experienced real estate teams here in Nashville and across America. Call them at 855-299-SOLD, 855-299-SOLD. Find them online anytime. It is markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Still a mess this morning on eastbound 24 in Joelton before Whites Creek Pike, where you've got an accident reported. Also, Pegram 40 eastbound at McCrory Lane. An accident there takes off the right shoulder. And then Creve Hall on 65 southbound past Harding Place, exit 78. An accident there also blocks the right shoulder. Now, there are some other accidents this morning. In Midtown at 20th Avenue North, south of West End Avenue. Another at TriStar Medical Center right there on Charlotte Avenue at 23rd Avenue North. In Antioch on Harding Place, east of the Metroplex Drive area. And also on Trousdale Drive in Nashville, right at Harding Place. More accidents, and the volume delays on 24 appear to be still pretty rough this morning through the Laverne area. Same thing for coming in on 65 and 24 at the merge. Still very jammed up. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. Hope you are doing well. Joan, I think I'm going to have to change my official talk show host position. You've hosted before, Joan, right?
Yes.
So, well, I know that because I had you host. So there's sort of like you dance around, you have like a firm opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And then as Chris said, that you're allowed as a talk show host to let new information change your mind, right?
Okay.
So now the purple-haired Super Talk WTNers are sending me photos
of
them to prove that purple hair can indeed look good. And so Angie sent me a note. Now she said, I've got purple hair. And so I told her to send me a picture, and her purple hair looks absolutely fine. So I think that I'm going to have to change my do it officially.
My conservative mother.
Change my opinion
at 86
on purple hair. Your conservative mother at 86 years old. So now, if they were really conservative, they would change their hair to red.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yeah, styling.
Right?
Mm-hmm. But red doesn't look so good in hair. I don't know. Purple.
But there's natural redheads.
Well,
what are you talking about? Some of the most stunning women in the world are redheaded.
Let me change that.
They're also pretty scary because redheads have a temper.
Fantastic, but
yeah,
the red
I know
that comes out of the bottle,
right.
Not so much.
So apparently I've got some fans in the YouTube chat, Joan, real quick, then I'm going to get to Jen Psaki.
Okay.
So one guy apparently is dogging me in the YouTube chat. I don't care. But what baffles me is that the guy says, I don't talk about news, which I don't understand because I literally do that 4 hours every single day. And I don't know what he thinks that I'm doing here, but I talk about a lot of news. On some stories, I'm able to go deeper. And on other stories, not so much because maybe there's no real reason to go deeper. And I do interviews. So I think that he's trying to just get my goat. I think that's what he's trying to do is get my goat.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? You can have my goat. Nobody else wants it either.
Do you have a goat to begin with?
I don't even know what that means. Yeah. All right. Jen Psaki is on with a podcast. And she's with a couple of, women, and they're dishing like women do. And the subject of J.D. Vance comes up. I want you to listen to how this goes.
I think the little Manchurian candidate, J.D. Vance, wants to be president more than anything else.
Yeah.
I always wonder what's going on in the mind of his wife. Like, are you okay? Please blink 4 times.
Yes.
We'll come over here. We'll save you. And that he's willing to do anything to get there. And that your whole iteration you just outlined, I mean, he's scarier in certain ways.
He's smarter.
In some ways. And he's young.
Yeah, and ambitious.
And agile in the sense that he is a chameleon who makes himself into whatever he thinks the audience wants to hear from him. Now, what's also true, though, is J.D. Vance is not, he's in some ways goodish on paper if you like what he believes in. I don't know. But I don't know that he can take the whole movement with him.
No way.
I don't think so either.
There's no riz.
It's got no riz, right?
None.
And he just
No riz, Joe.
Just is a little odd. And so
Totally.
Trump's odd in a different way. So I'm skeptical of that. So yeah, he's got to. I mean, everything going on right now, and I think we have to be very clear-eyed about this, is about trying to manipulate the public around elections.
So that is Jen Psaki. Now, there is, and this is how I handled it on Red Eye, there is so much there that what I need to do, by the way, Joan, do you know what no riz is?
It's no charisma.
Okay. So I had to look that up. I had to look that up last night.
Did you type in, what is riz?
I typed in, what is no riz? Oh. And yeah, now it's slightly different definition. But anyway, but there's a lot there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through this as I do and, go each point one by one and going to tell you why I think it is ridiculous as to what Jen Psaki is saying.
I think the little Manchurian candidate.
All right, right there. So you know what a Manchurian candidate is? A Manchurian candidate is somebody who is basically selling out America. They say it refers to a person, often a politician, who is manipulated or controlled by external forces, typically acting against their own country's best interests, a person being used as a puppet by an enemy power. So I would ask, because, these are all vapid talking points, right? So I would ask, Jen Psaki, okay, so who is supposedly controlling J.D. Vance? Is it Israel? Is it China?
Right.
Who is it? Because it seems to me like J.D. Vance is part of the America First agenda right up there at the very tippy top after Donald Trump. So again, vapid talking points. Here's more.
J.D. Vance wants to be president.
More. All right, so J.D. Vance, she says.
More than anything else.
J.D. Vance wants to be president more than anything else. Did Obama want to be president more than anything else? Pretty sure that he did. What about Joe Biden? What about, you name the politician? If they're going to put that kind of time, money, and effort into running for office, then yeah, they want to be president. And you know what? There's not necessarily anything wrong with that.
Well, it's just ironic considering the person she voted for raised $1.5 billion, ran the campaign, $20 million into debt.
Yep.
Still found a reason to write a book about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's proud of the failure. That's what it is. She's proud of the failure.
Yeah. I always wonder what's going on in the mind of his wife. Like, Are you okay? Please blink 4 times.
Yes.
We'll come over here. We'll save you.
So I don't know why,
That's
Joan.
unbelievable that they would. They're married. Like, do they not agree with their husbands? Or
well, here's my take on it. So why would Usha Vance want out of her marriage? Why would she want to be saved? Because J.D. Vance apparently has nothing to offer.
Right.
He's only a best-selling author, a Marine. He got his law degree from Yale, ends up as a senator, and now vice president. And by the way, they made a big old movie out of that book that he wrote. Mm-hmm. I mean, what a hack, J.D. Vance.
Yeah.
She's only looking at him lovingly in the photo that they brought up, too.
And she always does. And he's very respectful of her. I just,
But see, remember, vapid talking points. This is more from Jen Psaki.
And that he's willing to do anything to get there. And that your whole iteration you just outlined, I mean, he's scarier in certain ways.
But he's smarter.
In some ways. And he's young.
Yeah, and ambitious.
ambitious.
So is there something wrong with being young and ambitious? Wasn't Barack Hussein Obama young and ambitious?
He's scarier. He's scarier.
I think the reason why they're saying that he's scarier than Trump because I believe that what they mean is that J.D. Vance is more eloquent. He is able to sell, and this is true. I love Donald Trump, but there are times when he's a train wreck when he speaks about policy. It is. But J.D. Vance is able to articulate it a lot better than Donald Trump, and I think that that's what they mean when they say that J.D. Vance is scarier, because he is able to put the message out there a lot better than Donald Trump.
And agile in the sense that he is a chameleon who makes himself into whatever he thinks the audience wants to hear from him.
So he is a chameleon, and he says whatever he believes the audience wants from him. I don't even know what that means. I mean, it was Hillary Clinton that would have changed her accents depending on what audience she was from. Of course, the whole, carrying hot sauce in her purse conversation. You got Jasmine Crockett, who has, street Jasmine and college Jasmine. So what the hell is she talking about?
Kamala Harris openly changing her accent on the campaign trail. Zoran Mamdani constantly changing his accent through the years.
Yep.
To fit in with people.
And depending on where he is. That's a whole thing on the internet right now. So you'll notice that, Jen Psaki just, again, talking points, but nothing substantive. And that's not what I meant to do. This is what I meant to do.
Now, what's also true, though, is J.D. Vance is not, he's in some ways goodish on paper if you like what he believes in. I don't know. But I don't know that he can take the whole movement with him.
No way.
I don't think so either.
There's no riz.
It's got no riz, right?
None.
And
you know what I need you two to do? I just need you to agree and parrot everything I say. Because that's what these two, women are doing with
you can say
Jen
dumb
Psaki.
blondes.
Dumb blondes? I wouldn't say dumb. Well, I don't know if they're dumb or not, but they're just, yes, you're right, Jen Psaki. Everything that she says.
Like they're pecking down to get the corn on the ground.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And yeah, they do say that J.D. Vance has no riz.
I think so either.
Is no riz.
It's got no riz, right?
None.
And he just is a little odd.
No riz and a little odd.
It sounds like old people trying to sound cool and hip.
Do you know what it sounds like? It sounds like a couple of some sixth grade girls talking about, some kid in school.
If it was 21 Jump Street and they were undercover cops in 6th grade.
That's exactly right.
And so Trump's odd in a different way. So I'm skeptical of that. So yeah, he's got to. I mean, everything going on right now, and I think we have to be very clear-eyed about this, is about trying to manipulate the public around elections. And
by the way, so there's no manipulation when it came to, Joe Biden being in the basement. You know what I mean?
Right.
During that election.
All right, circle back, lady.
It's right there. It is right there what I want to say, and it'll get me in so much trouble, and I'm not going to do it.
Anyway. Come on.
No, because you know what? I was going to tell her to go to hell, and I don't want to do that.
She just circled back.
Go circle back to hell is what I was going to. That's what I was going to say.
And but you just said it.
But no, I didn't officially say it. I said
the next 2 days.
No.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference between officially saying it and saying I was going to say it, but I didn't say it, so I didn't say it officially, so I can't get in trouble.
Shut up.
Hello? Yes. HR? They're on the... Yeah, he'll be right down.
And part of that conversation, by the way, the whole, no riz, where he doesn't have the charisma to carry on or to, continue on with the MAGA movement, they are so incredibly wrong. I think the guy who does have the riz to carry on the MAGA movement is J.D. Vance.
Give me a Rubio and Vance ticket in 2028.
Unbeatable.
Oh, that would be so good.
Absolutely unflippin' beatable. I think that for Marco Rubio, I think that his talents would be wasted in the vice president's office unless they really give him some meaty roles.
But so the model is the way President Trump and J.D. Vance do it. Now, President Trump is so stinking busy. There's plenty of things he can't pay attention to. And that's what J.D. Vance is doing. He's hot on he's going everywhere and doing everything.
Yeah.
So I think that the model has been set.
Yeah, you're right, Joan.
And they can do the same thing with J.D. and Marco.
Hey, Joan.
Yeah.
Do I have riz?
Oh, Dan, you have unbelievable Riz.
I'm the rizziest ever. I've got the greatest Riz. He's the Rizzler.
Riz like we've never seen.
I'm the Rizzler. Joan, you've got Riz too.
You think?
Sure.
Yeah.
The jury's still out on Sam, though. By the way, I did take a poll on X. It was for last night. I took a poll, and the question was basically, do you think that J.D. Vance can carry on the MAGA movement? And it was like 96, 97% of the people on Twitter that took the poll said absolutely. We did the YouTube poll too, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. RJ put it up, and 91% say yes.
All right.
See, take that, Jen Psaki.
Jen Psaki, more like it.
Yeah.
Jen Psaki needs to stick a sock
In it.
in it so she'll stop talking.
Yes.
And a fork in a socket.
Yep.
I'm confused.
8:54. I'm so glad I've got 2 days off, man. I will be on Red Eye tomorrow night, but I've got the morning show off on Thursday and Friday. Brian's going to fill in. Joan, what's coming up?
The guy that calls President Trump daddy. You know, he's coming to the White House today. That's NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. We'll tell you what's going on there. Coming up here at 9 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you very much. 8:54 in Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk. Dan Mandis here with a great way to increase the value of your home. How about a bathroom upgrade from my friends at Zentex, a great company that has a great deal just for my listeners, so you got to stay tuned for that. But how about converting your bathtub into a walk-in shower? Now, they can do that, and for listeners to my show, you can get $999 off or 0% interest for 2 years, whatever works best for you. Now, Zentex has won awards for ethics from the Better Business Bureau, and last year, they were voted one of the best places to work in the construction industry. Happy employees mean great customer service. That is what you're going to get with Zentex. Now, remember that great deal. You can get $999 off or 0% interest for 2 years, whatever works best for you. You mentioned WTN. You also get a free Kohler toilet with your purchase. Find them online, Zintex, Zentex.com, Zentex.com. $8:56 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here for Loan Pronto. Listen, what if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop that mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Well, you can with Loan Pronto, because right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. Now, with Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and yes, even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off a couple of car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One phone call, life changed, courtesy of Loan Pronto. Now, rates right now, they're at a 3-year low, so you got to act now. Call them 615-499-5780, 615-499-5780, and see how much cash you can get today. LoanPronto.com is the website, LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Unapproved credit, visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.